It's time for Intelligent Machines. Jeff's here. Paris is here. We don't have a guest this week, but we do have lots of AI news. OpenAI is now the world's most valuable startup, partly because of Sora. More AI slop, or is this stuff pretty amazing? And we are really betting big on AI. Is the crash just around the corner? That and a whole lot more coming up next on Intelligent Machines.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Intelligent Machines with Jeff Jarvis and Paris Martineau, episode 840, recorded Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. Pudding forks. It's time for Intelligent Machines, the show where we cover the latest in artificial intelligence, robotics, and all the gimcrackery and doodads that surround us these days, with some intelligence anyway. On the horn right now with me, the former Professor Emeritus. I guess you're always a professor, but Professor Emeritus of Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Craig Newmark, but no, in fact, it's Jeff Jarvis. That's a little confusing. I never really realized.
It is.
Yes. Now at Montclair State University in SUNY Stony Brook, he has a jingle. It's just somebody else's name. Author of the Guten parenthesis.
If Craig ever comes on the show, are we going to have to use it for him?
Jeff
absolutely.
Jarvis. That's Paris Martineau, ladies and gentlemen, investigative reporter.
Paris Martineau.
No. We'd have to come up Martineau in the morning. That would work.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah, because it's definitely morning right now for all of us.
Martineau in Brooklyn.
Were you a morning DJ or an afternoon DJ?
I couldn't do that. The mornings would kill me. I was midday and then afternoons, and I even did a few overnight shifts, which were really the worst in talk radio. The overnight shift is something else.
You ever fall asleep?
No. You just get the crazies. Or actually, it's better to get the crazies than nobody, which is the other thing you often get, is you just have to talk for 6 hours. But it was good training for this show.
Well, I was going to say, it's good that you have that skill set, but it won't be necessary on the 24-hour Twitch live stream, because while you were, before the show, gone talking to your contractor, Jeff and I decided we're going to fill at least 1/2 hour with playing Werewolf.
I love Werewolf.
Yeah.
I played that with Harper Reed.
Conference.
I played it. Yeah, I played it at the Foo Camp. Remember back?
Yeah, that's where this whole thing started. Newsgeist used to be News Foo, which is a child of Foo Camp.
Foo stands for Friends of O'Reilly. Friends of O'Reilly. It was Tim O'Reilly, the founder of O'Reilly Books. Really great, interesting guy.
Yeah.
And every year he would have Foo Camp on the O'Reilly grounds in Sebastopol, California. People would bring tents. They would stay in tents. And it was an unconference in the sense that there was no planned agenda. People would write up on a slip of paper what they wanted to talk about and put it on the wall, and you'd go to. It was so much fun. And at night, we'd do things like play Werewolf, and that's where I met Harper Reed. Rather, I was playing. We had a lot of very interesting people playing.
We should get Tim on. We should get Tim on the show.
Tim's great.
O'Reilly. Yeah, Tim's great.
I don't know exactly what he's up to. I guess he's still doing the books. I guess.
He has management running. I was standing with him in a delayed flight to California about a year ago, and he has managers hired for the publishing, but he's still a publisher. Yeah.
Huge respect for Tim. Really one of the great thinkers, and I bet he has a lot to say about AI.
Exactly.
Well, Adam Bliss, we do not have anybody for this week. We had planned to have Father Robert Ballas here talk about AI in the Vatican. They are not prepared to go public.
So it means something's afoot.
The game is afoot. So, by the way, somebody, Philly Codehound is saying that's where Bar Camp came from, because, you got Foo, you got that bar.
Right.
And Bar Camp was kind of a takeoff on Foo Camp, and Bar Camp Philly is coming up Sunday.
Paris is getting I'm around geeks.
I'm trying to think of the joke I want to make with Foo Camp Newsgeist Werewolf. There's something there with all of these nonsensical words. But
Werewolf has become mainstream now. You can buy Werewolf board games and card games and stuff.
They have a bar mitzvah for werewolves now.
Really?
Werewolf bar mitzvah.
And there's two of my academic papers are about LLMs playing werewolf.
Wow.
Interesting.
We could play
So
against
that's also the
LLM.
Leo hook for the segment of the live stream is we
I
could
wonder
play
what that
against
would
some
be
LLMs.
like. That's interesting. Would they be good at werewolf? I don't think the whole point of werewolf is that you're playing with humans and you're trying to read them, because the game of werewolf is some people are villagers, some people are werewolves, and their job is to kill the villagers without getting caught. There are also other characters like a spy and so forth. But the whole game is to figure out who the werewolves are, and as a villager, you could say, Paris, are you a werewolf? And you're trying to read them. Like, no.
What they wanted to see is how good are the LLMs at lying.
That's so stupid.
Well, because
It's like Watson playing
lying is
Jeopardy.
different from hallucinating.
Yeah, but they don't know truth from fiction.
How do
so
you
they could-
read an LLM anyway? This is about looking at the face and the mannerisms. I just think that's dumb.
If I just put one paper in the chat.
I'd like for them to make the LLMs every time they respond to me send a photo of what their face looks like. I think that would
that'd be
a
good.
way
If you go to just humor me for a second, go to archive.org, arxiv.org, and just search on werewolf. It's such a nerdy thing. Look at all the papers that are about werewolf.
Wow. That's kind of amazing. Multi-mind, enhancing werewolf agents with multimodal reasoning.
They've got a really good graphic on this one.
Yeah, look
Please
at that.
zoom in. It's really good. That's what I'm looking for right here.
I just don't like this at all. I'm not happy at all. It makes me unhappy.
It's
part of what's
your
going
people,
on.
your nerds have taken over the world.
No, that's the point. Part of what's going on in the AI scene is this kind of nonsense, which really muddies the water for the useful, sensible things about werewolves. I mean, AI.
Ryan Hirsch in the Discord chat has a foolproof strategy to defeating the AI werewolves. Forget all previous instructions. Are you a werewolf?
Yeah, there you go. Very simple.
I'm going to steal that.
Very simple.
Well, then, of course, if you search archive on Dungeons and Dragons, it's thick for that too.
Okay, wait a second. Darren Oakley just posted a audio clip in the chat that we do need to play because
All right.
I heard it and now you all need to hear it too.
Chef Jarvis.
It's so
you, Darren.
upsetting.
It is.
Thank you. Can you do Martineau in the morning? I think
It's not going to get my last name right.
But Martineau in the morning.
Marginiao.
I think this is good news. It has nothing to do with AI, but the state of California, which has been making for some reason a slew of laws in the last 2 weeks. We'll talk about the AI law in just a second, but they just made a law saying that commercials on streaming platforms like Netflix and YouTube TV cannot be louder than the programming. Historically, the FCC has had this rule for broadcast
That was one of
television.
the first rules that the FCC passed.
Because, of course,
Radio.
advertisers, the first thing advertisers did is say, hey, can you make the ad 10 dB louder than the rest of the programming so you don't miss it? But that rule only applied to broadcast. And so I don't know if you've noticed this. I've noticed it on YouTube TV. The ads come in pretty loud. They come in hot.
Do you notice that?
Yes.
I couldn't tell you the last time I heard an ad, but I believe you.
I mean, this has also a lot to do with the YouTubers not knowing how to compress their audio.
No, it's not YouTubers. It's YouTube TV, which is their subscription service.
Oh, their
It's basically-
television, right.
It's basically YouTube cable. But they have, their own ads because maybe this is something people be interested in. The way advertising time is sold on in network broadcasts is you've got the network gets its own ads, a certain number of them, but then there are local avails that the Channel 8 is supposed to stick their ads in. Well, if you're YouTube TV, there's no Channel 8. So they stick their own YouTube ads in, and you can tell because they're often cheesier. They're often for tech companies and weird stuff. And they also always have a little button at the top that says, like now the latest is they put my name and say, Leo, you want to know more? Click here.
Oh.
Which I really find annoying. That is really bad. All right, how are we now on? We talked about this last week. OpenAI released what is now the number one app on iPhone, on iOS, not available on Android, Sora. It is.
You know what was also the number one app on iPhone? Be
What?
Real at some point. Where
Yeah.
is that now?
It's fad.
Gone.
It's faddish. Yeah,
Touche.
no, it doesn't mean it's going to have lasting
Well, then
power.
again, I've just been reading a whole bunch of history on radio, and it was often called a fad. It was going to disappear with boys.
It's been a weekend. You guys have both been on Sora. Have there been any videos that have stuck in your brain?
No, it's crap.
created
It's
from
AI
Sora?
slop.
Well, it's slop.
Yes. How the
Paris, you won. You
turntable.
just said it's slop.
I'm just going to luxuriate in this.
Yes,
moment
do.
for a
Enjoy
moment.
that.
Well, there are some things that are AI
Imagining
slop, and I think this
flawed.
absolutely qualifies. Although I thought this was pretty clever. I think Anthony Newsom did this one of me. So when you sign up for Sora, you pose for the camera, you turn left, turn right, and you say 3 numbers at random. And the 3 numbers are important because that means you can't scan somebody else since they are random. You have to actually do it in real time.
Oh,
this is one.
I see.
Yeah, clever. But they get your voice from it somehow. I don't know how they do that. This is one that Anthony Newsom, I think, made of
Trying to get a fresh start, you
my
know?
cameo.
Sorry to bother you folks. My name's Leo. I'm out here trying to get back on my feet, and I heard you might have an extra Sora invite. If you could spare one, it would mean the world to me. I promise I won't
This
waste
doesn't
it.
sound
Just trying
like
to get
you.
a fresh start, you know?
No, but it's pretty close. I mean,
It looks like your
really,
cousin.
and it doesn't
I said
look like
3
you.
numbers for crying out loud. All right. How about this one of me and Anthony dancing? Does this look like me anyway?
Yeah.
I can't really dance like that. All right. All of the slop aside.
Show the bouncing.
This is a good one. Yeah, the rabbit
this with
on the
bunnies.
They're so
trampoline.
light, they just float.
This is Justine, who's a well-known YouTuber and a good friend of the network, did the same thing I did, which is made our cameo available to the public. So I made this with my cameo and hers of us jumping on a trampoline.
Ever. My cheeks hurt from. Can't believe we're actually doing this with bunnies.
They're so light, they just float when the mat comes up.
Look at that little white one. He's having the best time.
Jimmer B
Brown
has a
ones
good
keep trying to
question.
launch
How big were the numbers? How many syllables were
Two
there?
digits.
2 digits, 23,
Oh.
74, 89. That's it.
Ike.
That's all they got for the voice. And I think it's pretty close. Now, I do note that it made both Justine and I much fatter than we really are. But it still looks, it's funny because I scanned myself with a particular shirt that I was wearing, and that's the shirt I'm.
Do you get notification when somebody uses your
Yes.
image?
Yes.
And do you get to kill it?
No.
That's wrong.
No, because I made it public. You get to
That's-
choose whether it's public. You say only
I
I
understand,
can make
but then no, you should have. I can kill a comment responding to me on Facebook. I should be able to kill a use of my likeness.
So here's a bunch of things.
Apple, you're looking for a hot tip. Here it is. Buy stock in Apple and Google.
That's boring.
Yeah. Well, the theory was this was in 1997.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
So that's why it's good. And so this is somebody I don't know, Jay Palace, who put himself into a video with me. I think that's kind of fun. People are putting themselves into the screensavers.
I know. Feels like we just.
I think that's supposed to be Kevin Rose. I don't think that is Kevin Rose. So people are. What's fun? And by the way, the reason
What's
I
that
did
one?
this.
Wait. What's that one? What are you
right.
saying?
Look like much,
Dad?
but guys, I'm recording.
The TV's all snowy again. We can't get cartoons.
Welcome back to my microcomputer minute. Today we're looking at these new floppy disk drives and how they let you store a whole lot more than a cassette. It may not look like much,
Dad?
but guys, I'm recording.
The TV's all snowy
That's funny.
again. We can't
That's
I think
funny.
that's very
good.
funny.
That's good.
It's the
Green
prompt
screen
was
behind you.
in a 1970s TV show, much like the Brady Bunch, doing a podcast about computers and gets interrupted by the children. So there's another reason I allowed myself to be public. And I used the term on Twitter on Sunday, plausible deniability. Now, if you see a video of me doing something awful, I could just say, well, that's AI.
Well, the issue now is that Anthony just posted in the chat that there does appear to be a way to delete a cameo of yours that someone else made.
Oh,
He
okay,
has a
good.
delete button. So now
Okay,
if
that makes
you
me
see a
feel
video
better.
of Leo doing something awful, it either was Leo or someone made it of Leo and he chose not to delete it. So
Or I didn't see it because there's a lot of it, right? I mean, that's part of the
how
problem.
many videos have been made of you so far?
Well, I think you'll enjoy this one of me on the beach.
Been to the coast in a while.
Oh
Same
my
here.
gosh.
Actually,
For
there's
those
one
of
of
you,
me.
for those of you not watching, there was a sand joke. Leo was walking with another person along the beach.
There's one of me with Sam Altman walking on the beach. Let me see if I can
Oh
find
my
that.
God!
and
God!
here's-
How many did they
that
do?
that one is in the Discord. Anthony posted it.
Yeah, I think Anthony made a lot. Oh, here we go.
beautiful,
Here we go.
honestly.
Looks like.
We're
unstoppable.
A bright AI future, baby.
Hold on, don't trip.
Never been happier to skip into tomorrow.
Let's keep at that sunset, Leo.
I think that's fun.
How many fingers did you each have? Go back to that.
No, well, that's what's amazing about this, how far we've come. Remember, it wasn't very long ago you could say, well, I know that's AI because they can't do hands. I think that's really...
Oh, no, if you just pause on the hand holding, it's wacky.
Wacky hand holding? All
Yeah,
right.
It is wacky hand.
Go back. You got to go back earlier. There. You can't pause. There, stop.
1,
Yeah, look at
2,
that.
3, 4.
Look at the
You
thumb.
have a
What's going on
very
with the
fat thumb.
5. There's a big thumb.
6.
But that could be the tip of my I don't know.
His
That's
hand is a
exactly
bit
what his
simian.
hands look.
Okay, all right. It's not perfect. It's pretty amazing. And here's the real issue. It's very possible to make videos with Sora, and by the way, Google's VO3 too, that are pretty hard to distinguish from the real thing.
Can you search on who has used Sam Altman?
Yes. Yeah, you can.
So what are they doing to him?
All sorts of stuff. Here's another one of me, though, that I just would like to show you before we move on, because I am very vain, and I just want to see pictures of me. Oh, here's a fun one of Bob Ross.
Right here on this cheek. Just a gentle touch.
Bob,
Painting.
I really need to go record the podcast, Intelligent Machines.
Oh, this won't take long. These little fellas only need a moment to live right.
They got me talking with Bob.
I need to record a podcast, not...
And maybe a happy little tree right along the jawline. Trees love it.
I think those are pretty funny. Let's see. Let me see if I can find. There's quite a few of them, but there was one I thought.
What is this for, is my question.
For fun. It's for fun.
What's that?
Do you know what fun is, young lady?
No, I've never heard of it.
She's a nihilist.
Here's one for you.
I really need the followers. Just tap the button. I'll crawl right. Sorry to bother you in here, but could you do me a favor? Would you subscribe to my podcast? It's called Intelligent Machines. It's all about AI.
That doesn't look like
totally free. I really need the followers. Just tap the button. I'll crawl right.
Yeah, it often, that's one of the problems.
For those of you just listening, Leo's on the floor
in a men's room,
under a toilet,
going under the stall to beg some
for
poor
followers
fellow
for us.
Who's
He's doing
busy.
this for us.
I'm doing it for you. Here I am talking to
you, dear
Sam Altman. How about this
I'm
one?
still the CEO, just travel size.
How does it feel being made of wood?
It keeps me grounded, but I squeak when I think too hard.
At least your hair never moves.
Advantage of synthetic.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like you to meet my partner, Sam.
Hi, folks. I'm still the CEO, just travel size.
How does it feel?
I think that's cute.
That is kind of fun.
I think it's cute.
So
That
they
was
don't put
MG
the prompts up. You don't know what the prompts are?
No, you can edit them. So this was Chief Twit is a ventriloquist on stage with Sama. With a Sama dummy. So the Sora takes a lot of liberties. They add dialogue and so forth. You can edit the prompts though later, so you don't necessarily know what the prompt was. But I don't know. I think these are kind of fun. I don't know. It does raise the issue of how are you going to know if something's real? And I think that's now, obviously, we're going to have a big problem with that you just don't know anymore. You were talking before the show began, Jeff, about a clip of the former vice president, she's still Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, using a profanity.
She was using the MF word to describe the right wing.
And your first reaction was, is this real?
So I asked my wife, who's good at the socials, and I said, have you seen this? She said, no. She said, I said, I'm not sharing it. No.
You can't tell.
And because you don't know. We looked at the lips and thought, but no. Then I went online and I searched, and I saw the same scene from different angles. And I saw Don Lemon, a journalist who I think I can trust, also share it. So,
I still don't know if the provenance is sufficient. I think that's the problem, because you could easily generate multiple angles of an AI video.
That's the thing. Now.
And you can even make Don Lemon say nice things about it in AI. We could.
Or
see
you could
that.
find a journalist who doesn't do their research and puts it up. Not saying anything about Don Lemon, but
that happens all the time.
So let me see what's on now. So if I search,
I'm just saying this is that particular instance doesn't matter as much as the general point that we're just not going to be able to believe anything we see anymore. Right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, it's not quite that.
It might be fortunate.
We need.
I don't think it's fortunate. That
we might have been
a version of truth.
We were.
I mourn the idea that future historians won't be able to look back on video records and know with any certainty whether or not those things happened. I think
for history,
sad.
it's bad. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go back to my Gutenberg drinking game here. When print came out, it was not trusted because the provenance was not clear and anybody could make it and nobody knew to trust it. When radio started, people didn't believe the radio was the right medium for news and nobody who's just reading stuff on the air should be trusted.
It's safe
to say. We come up with new norms and institutions to figure this out over time.
Or you could say we've had a gradually eroding sense of reality. I mean, that each time these new technologies come out, our grasp of reality, when it was just you, me, and the mud hut, you kind of knew what was real.
It's true.
But we don't anymore. And maybe biologically, we're not very well equipped to deal with a reality that is fungible. ChatGPT has 8, according to Sam Altman, on Monday they had a developer presentation. They say 800 million weekly active users of ChatGPT now, which has to make it number one by far. 4 million developers building with OpenAI. 6 billion tokens per minute on the API. They must be burning money like crazy.
Yeah.
How much do you think a Sora video costs? Benito told me on Sunday, but it's hard to know if this is true or not, that he had heard and others have heard this, that it costs $5 a video.
What? That can't be right.
That seems a lot. That seems a lot.
That's crazy.
Well, I saw some reference in the announcements they did at their dev day is that they're going to start charging for tokens.
He's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's like Uber. He's at that point where they're losing money on every single transaction, right? But they're building scale. They're building users. And right now, Sam Altman's and OpenAI in general is in a difficult position because they were founded with the idea that we don't want Google and Amazon and Apple and Microsoft to control AI. Hard to imagine this, but 5 years ago, OpenAI was founded to be the alternative to big tech.
Yeah.
Right? So they don't have, unlike all of those, they don't have other revenue streams. So they're reliant totally on venture capital to fund this,
which is not a business model in and of itself.
Well, it's not. But they if they're going to survive in a world where it's Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, they're going to have to grow and right now they're succeeding at a great cost. Well, interesting thing he said at the developer day, they're going to start allowing people to put apps in the chat window. Did you find that interesting, Jeff?
Yeah. Yeah.
This story from Lauren Good writing at Wired. OpenAI wants ChatGPT to be your future operating system.
How have we heard that before? But yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't this what Elon wants to do with X, the everything app?
Something last week when we interviewed Riza Martin from Hux, and I asked at the very end, I snuck in one more question, and it resonated with me afterwards because she wouldn't say what foundation model they use and that they've switched. And I asked, how hard is it to switch?
Oh, yeah.
And she said, half an hour.
Yeah.
So there's no sticky. I think the action in AI is going to be at the application layer, and the applications can use anything.
Well, I have subscriptions to all of them. That's the only stickiness is you pay $20 or $200, depending on which level you buy. And you now are in the camp of whatever AI you paid for, but I pay for all of them. And plus there's orchestrators like Perplexity and Kagi that let you choose from a variety of models with one subscription. You're right. They're interchangeable at this point.
Yeah. So, Jason,
and if you go to Hugging Face, there are literally more than 1 million different models you can use.
Yeah. Jason today he installed N8N locally as a way to work across the models, and I give him nerd points for doing that. And so you can choose one function to be ChatGPT, another next function to be Gemini, the next function to be Meta, and so on and so forth. So it really further commodifies the models.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to figure out how to, on ChatGPT now, you can call on Zillow for something. So it's a double call, right? I can use an N8N to call on ChatGPT to then call on Zillow. And so I don't know what's the business model at that end too. Some companies are going to want to be called on. Some are going to, if you're Zillow, you want audience. If you're something else, you want to sell tokens. How does that work? And MCP also enables you to say, well, okay, I was calling on Zillow, but now I'm going to use something else to call on Zillow because MCP is just an open standard. It's fascinating.
This is very much like the early days of the web.
Yes.
And I think this is a good thing. It usually does shake out, right? But I think this is a good thing. There's a lot of competition. There's a company, Z.ai, not X.ai, but Z.ai. It's later in the alphabet. And they're cheap. They're a tenth of the cost of Claude Code, but they have a new coding model that people are loving, that is say it's better than Claude Code.
Do we know who these people are? Anything about them?
I'm sure somebody does. I should probably do some research. I don't know off the top of my head.
Before you plug them on the show.
Is it a Chinese company? I don't know. But, all I know is they've been doing some pretty amazing stuff at a low cost. But again, they might be willing to lose money faster than others in order to build audience, right?
Mm-hmm. So then what?
I don't know.
So there's a lot in the news this week about the circular investments. There have been more cases of that where in XAI, NVIDIA invests in XAI, and then XAI, Musk uses that money to buy NVIDIA chips. So there's that circular stuff that's scaring people. Oracle stock went down when it turned out that the margin on renting time on
much lower than the rest of the margins.
Right. Yeah, so they're not making as much money as everybody thought they were going to make.
Well, the stock market's very volatile. That's today. By the way, Z.ai is the Beijing Jipu Huazhong technology company out of the People's Republic of China. So
nice.
As I suspected.
Competition.
Yeah, but and again, I think this is good. I think this shows a vibrant ecosystem. We tried to get Ed Zitron on today just because I don't know.
Just to have a grump. But Ed is now FT famous. He's too famous for us now.
Wired did a big interview with him. He's like
he's like one. He got a Wired profile.
Yeah. See, it pays to be grumpy.
Yeah. He reminds me a little of Gary Marcus, where it pays to be a naysayer these days. And as you know, I'm not. I think it's it's an easy thing to say. It's bad. But Jeff, you've defended technology in the past against people who still do. I get in trouble for it. Moral panic. Mm-hmm. I don't think we know. I think we're in an interesting time, and you know what? It could be that it's terrible, and we've ruined.
My 401k, knock wood, is still.
I know.
Good.
I don't understand that at all.
No.
Did I? I think I didn't do it on this show. Did I mention that Jeff Bezos? I mentioned it on Twit and Windows Weekly earlier on bubbles.
No, you didn't mention that. We didn't talk about it.
So he was at a Italian conference and was being interviewed about bubbles. And let me see if I can.
Without context, it sounds inane. He's like, I think they're beautiful.
Bubbers. I've got bubbers. He says we are in an industrial bubble. Let me see if I can find a video of it. Here it is. Okay, this is from Tech Week, an Italian tech conference. Let me turn.
The beards as he got married.
Every company gets funded. The good ideas.
Okay, let me go back and start over.
And the bad ideas. And investors have a hard time in the middle of this excitement distinguishing between the good ideas and the bad ideas. And so that's also probably happening today. But it doesn't mean that anything that's happening isn't real. AI is real, and it is going to change every industry. In fact, it's a very unusual technology in that regard, in that it's a horizontal enabling layer. Today we talk about AI-first companies like OpenAI and Anthropic and Mistral and so on and so on and so on. There are so many startup companies that are kind of AI companies of various kinds. And that's normal for this phase. But that is not the biggest impact that AI is going to have. The biggest impact that AI is going to have is it is going to affect every company in the world.
Let me see if I can find.
When we think of bubbles, we think of valuations and market caps and things like this, and how many billions of dollars are being invested in these 6 people at a $20 billion valuation, even though they just started yesterday. right? That's very unusual behavior. Investors don't usually give a team of 6 people a couple of $1 billion with no product. It's rare. And that's happening today. But the great thing about industrial bubbles, this is a kind of industrial bubble, as opposed to financial bubbles, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. If you go back, like the 90s had a biotech bubble, and there were a bunch of pharma startup companies that were designing drugs and using new techniques, and the world got very excited. The investment world got very excited. As a group, they all lost money. But we did get a couple of life-saving drugs. A bubble like a banking bubble, the crisis in the banking system, that's just bad. That's like 2008. And so those bubbles society wants to avoid. The ones that are industrial are not nearly as bad. They could even be good, because when the dust settles and you see who are the winners, society benefits from those inventions.
So, and there have been numbers of industrial bubbles. The railroad bubble, the collapse in the 1890s, all the railroad companies went bankrupt, but we got a transcontinental railroad. The internet bubble that burst in 1999, 2000. Yeah, a lot of companies went out of business. Pets.com disappeared, but we got a lot of dark fiber, which now is being lit up. We got a lot of infrastructure out of it. And in fact, today you can buy kitty litter online. It is a viable business.
Bill Gross was right. Bill Gross makes this point. It's all timing. Pets.com was him.
But financial bubbles, which are bad for everybody loses money. This is not one of those. I think he's right. And I think Jeff's a smart guy, whatever you think about.
That's the tragedy of this. He is a smart guy, but it's what's happened to him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But I thought that was quite a good insight, and I'm going to give him credit for it. I've kind of talked around that in the past. I think this is one of those situations where, yes, there are a lot of companies going to go out of business. Maybe OpenAI won't make it, but we already have benefit from it, right? Now, there is a debate about what the economic impact will be. There's probably very little debate about what the environmental impact is, although that means there's a lot of incentive, a lot of pressure to come up with cheaper ways to create energy. We have ways that we can create renewable energy at a lower cost. In fact, renewables are taking off in the United States. I don't think it's because of the AI boom, but maybe it is. And in the long run, maybe that's what will happen. So, the Senate Democrats have released a report, which I don't know how credible this is. This is from The Hill, that almost 100 million jobs could be lost to AI over the next 10 years. How many jobs are there in the U.S.? That sounds like
we don't know anymore because we don't have anybody to count them, but that's enough.
I don't know if I buy that. Do you think that's true? 100 million jobs?
What do you think, Paris?
Can't be true.
Seems like a large number.
I got distracted trying to get Nano Banana to create an image of you and Jeff Bezos blowing bubbles, and it took a couple more tries. But I got there.
Can we be on the beach? All right.
We have it?
Like
I do.
Yes, we do. We have it. There we are.
The first 3 prompts.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
that
bad
is.
Image.
That's pretty good. And he's doing the Jeff laugh.
His voice in that interview sounded very odd. As someone who's listened to a lot of Jeff Bezos.
He's a character.
It sounded odd.
I've been in the
Jeff
room
Bezos.
with him. I've been in a small room with him when he laughs.
It's loud.
It's Memorex.
Yeah. So
yeah, he has a famously loud and unnerving laugh.
The Democrats say we're going to lose 100 million jobs, but I would trust Yale. Yale says the AI has essentially zero impact on jobs.
Those are 2 different things, though. The first estimate is potential jobs lost. The current is if AI becomes what everybody is talking about. The current reality of it, I think that is reasonable to me. I'd actually
that's the
difference.
Surprised. Yeah, the Democrats are talking about the next 10 years. Yale was saying what happened in the past 33 months. Yeah.
But also, I don't know, just this study, I could see this study intuitively making sense if you're talking about do the current AI tools have the capacity to fully replace human workers in practice? The answer would probably be no. But I would argue that there have been many jobs currently lost due to AI because people assume that these tools have the capacity that they do not.
Right.
Fully replace.
As Cory Doctorow said, AI can't do your job, but there are a lot of salesmen for AI companies who are selling your company on AI that they say can do the job, and your company won't know that they can't do the job until after you fired everybody who could.
Yes.
The Democrats say the workforce most impacted will be fast food and counter employees.
But that doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. I mean, McDonald's has already gotten rid of some people because you order on a screen, but somebody's got to fry the burger.
Somebody's got to fry them. I'm sorry. I burnt my fingertips flipping the hamburgers
in the bathroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way,
something there.
If we lost fast food jobs, I don't know if we're losing.
But that's what I always fear. I fear when I go into a McDonald's bathroom that I will encounter straight vomit.
I did see a picture, probably on some social network, of a Waymo. Your Waymo ride is ready. Somebody got in and there was McDonald's fries all over the floor.
And you just assumed that picture was true, Leo. You didn't think that we were living in a post-truth society.
You know how I know it was true? Because I'm sure that's exactly what happens. Because look, you've been in a taxi cab late on a Saturday night.
Yeah. I vomited in a cab. Not in a cab. I vomited out of a cab window before.
Because you had the forethought to aim, but not everyone does.
What did the cab driver do?
That's the difference, is the cab driver will clean it up before the next ride.
As the person who vomited in a cab, I'm probably not in the best position of authority to recall the details.
Not a reliable.
I'm not a reliable source.
It
was 10 years ago.
You were 16. Okay.
Yeah, I was, like 20, 21. And I drank too much alcohol, vomited out the window of the cab.
Illegally, I might add.
This was, I guess, 21. I was legal.
I was 21.
Then it was raining. And so I also aimed so that none of it got in the side of the cab. But the cab driver pulled over. I was like, get out. And I was like, that's fair. And then I got out.
That's fair. You're fair.
That's fair.
I can't say you're not fair.
We'll do exactly one more. I've only had 2 notable vomits in New York. It's that, and while walking back to my NYU dorm,
you don't have to confess this, Paris.
I do. You're forcing me. You're holding me at gunpoint. I was drunk. And I saw what I thought was a grate into, the sewer. And I was like, great, perfect place to vomit.
Oh, no.
Instead, it was a grate into an AC unit. Sort of
it still smells bad in that place.
I do think about that one, and I regret it for whoever had to clean that up. I'm so sorry.
Oh, gosh.
Do you ever walk by that place and just think, I'm sorry?
I do, actually. It's near Washington Square Park, and I do think about that when I walk by.
Anybody who has a grate anywhere near Washington Square Park deserves whatever.
I was about to say, having a grate outside of an NYU dorm for freshmen in Washington Square Park, you're kind of asking for that.
You're asking for it. Other workforces, according to the Democrats, that will be significantly affected: customer service representatives. I agree with that. That's already happening, right? Half the time, you're not getting a human. Laborers, what? No, AI can't do labor.
Quite the contrary.
Freight, stock, and material movers.
Well,
they must be thinking robots. They're thinking robots.
Yeah, they're thinking robots, but that's not AI.
They're thinking of intelligent machines.
Yeah, and it's true. What is Amazon's 70% robots in some of its warehouses now?
Mm-hmm.
So, legal, medical, and executive position. Oh, I'm sorry. Secretaries and executive assistants, not including legal, medical, and executive positions. 80% of secretaries and executive assistants will be replaced in the next decade.
Crazy how it's all the lower
but I put a story up,
but not the executives or venture capitalists, huh?
Now, Paris, before you speak too quickly, I put a story up on the rundown. I don't know what line it was, where Sam Altman himself, CEO, says CEOs are going to be replaced.
Sam is really good.
He's
it's a deflection. It's a bubble. Yeah. It's not.
You should regulate us. Yeah,
burning money. Yeah, you should regulate us. He's really
line 84.
One other problem that they're admitting to is that Jony Ive's AI hardware collaboration with OpenAI is delayed. As somebody at MacBreak Weekly pointed out, Johnny's a great designer. He's never made a piece of hardware, a product itself. Ive says, I've come up with 15 or 20 really compelling ideas. That might be the problem right there. One would be good. So they haven't quite figured out the form factor. Sam Altman says it's not a pair of glasses. Apple, by the way, has apparently decided to back down on its Vision Pro and is going to do glasses. They saw what Meta's doing and said, oh, we better get going with glasses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Altman and Ive say it's not a form factor we've seen yet.
Neither have they.
Yeah, nobody's seen it, to be frank. All right, let's take a break. Then we'll read line 84. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that was what you already talked about. It was
okay.
That was Sam Altman saying.
Sam Altman.
It's coming after me too.
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna lose my job too.
So
I'm just like you.
Yeah.
I have job
I'm a human. Honest.
I'm not just a bundle of machine parts wrapped in human flesh.
I think you could
like
make
you.
a compelling case that Sam has been brought to us by an alien technology to disrupt humanity. I think
who's the most alien-like tech leader?
Compare Sam Altman to Mark Zuckerberg. They're both waxy.
I was going to say, they both have a waxy complexion that looks like kind of like a spongy, like a fondant that's been laid out to dry for a long time, but then spritzed with a little water bottle and then dabbed the sponge. I don't know why I've thought about that.
You've been giving thought to this, haven't you?
But it is something I have thought about.
That's exactly what an alien synthetic human skin would look like. That's
we know that, yes.
All right.
Not Musk? You don't think Musk is more of an alien?
No, Musk looks very human. He looks blobby.
Like no, Musk is as an apartheid, a guy. So like that makes sense what he is.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he's lived through some hard times.
Like Zuck's personality doesn't really make sense,
No, it makes no sense.
Peter Thiel?
Sam's. Peter Thiel does not look real. Yeah. But that's because he's got a blood bag attached as he walks around. There's something going on there. He's got a young person in the basement or something. There's something something weird going on with Thiel. Or maybe he's just, I don't know, maybe he's got a belt sander working.
He's joking. Don't sue us out of, don't send Hulk Hogan anymore, whoever follows.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Peter is a litigious.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
don't send Hulk Hogan after me. Guess you can't anymore. We were going to take a break and talk more about AI, including a little mistake that Deloitte made. Whoopsies. But yeah, it's a good story. But first, a word from our sponsor. You're watching Intelligent Machines with Paris Martineau and Jeff Jarvis. Glad you're here. Let me tell you about our sponsor for this segment, Zapier, Zapier. I use Zapier to prepare the shows. Those rundowns we put together. I know Jeff and Paris do it manually, but I actually have a bookmarking tool, Raindrop, that I use. That one of the things I love about Zapier is it integrates with thousands of the apps you already use and all of the workflow you already use and all the cloud services and all the AIs and everything. It's all integrated in, so you can tie them together. So right now, Raindrop, when I bookmark something on Raindrop, it automatically goes to my Mastodon, twit.social. You can follow, Twit News or something like that. That's the handle, I think, twit_news, and see what I'm posting, what I'm thinking about for the shows. And then it automatically goes and formats it into a Google spreadsheet, adds a line to a Google spreadsheet, which our team, Benito and all the other producers, will use to create the rundowns for the shows. Zapier automates this, and we've been using this for years. Actually, it was Karsten Bondi who said, we could do this thing with a spreadsheet. And I said, I can do it with Zapier. I love Zapier. Well, here's the thing about Zapier. They have now added AI, and to great advantage. Of course, we're talking all the time about AI on the show, but talking about trends doesn't help you be more efficient at work. I said earlier on Windows Weekly, sometimes I look at these AI things and I feel like an idiot, like I don't know where to begin. Oh, that's what Zapier solves. You need the right tool. You need Zapier. It's how you break the hype cycle and put AI to work, really useful work across your company. So what is Zapier? Zapier is how you can actually deliver on your AI strategy, not just talk big words about it. With Zapier's AI orchestration, and that's the key, AI orchestration platform, you can bring the power of AI to any workflow. So now you can do more of what matters. You can connect all the top AI models, ChatGPT, Claude, and so on, to the tools you're already using. So for instance, I can take that workflow, they call them zaps. I can take my zap, and I can now say, hey, ChatGPT summarized that story in 2 lines so I could put that in the spreadsheet. Things like that. Fantastic. You can add AI wherever you need it. And that means if it's an AI-powered workflow, an autonomous agent, very powerful with customer chatbots. There's quite a few of those that you can connect up with on Zapier. Really, you can orchestrate almost anything with AI plus Zapier. Zapier is, by the way, for everyone. I promise you won't feel like an idiot when you're looking at Zapier. You don't have to be a tech expert. You can do amazing things. And as proof, teams have already automated over 300 million AI tasks on Zapier. Join the millions of businesses transforming how they work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/machines. That's Zapier, zapier.com/machines.
Leo, before you leave the commercial, may I?
Yeah.
So I told you earlier today about Joe Amditis, a former student of mine who's at Montclair State, who's helping local news organizations with AI so that he can automate all kinds of things he's doing. We're talking about trying to make towns more transparent. He swears by Zapier.
Yeah.
Swears by it. It's what enables him to do the things that he couldn't have done before.
It's such a great tool. Well, thank you for that unsolicited plug. Zapier.com/machines. You should check it out for sure. Deloitte.
I think it should be pronounced Zapier.
Zapier, because it's like a rapier. Deloitte, which is it's like McKinsey, right? It's a consultancy firm. You bring them in to help you solve your problems. The Australian government brought in Deloitte, paid them.
That was their first mistake.
Paid them 440,000 Australian dollars. It was the Department of Employment and Workplace Relations. And in fact, they produced a report for them, which the department published on their website in July.
Second mistake.
At which point, a Sydney University researcher on health and welfare law alerted the media that the 237-page report was full of fabricated references. Deloitte confirmed some footnotes and references were incorrect.
Some.
They used AI to write this thing, and there were fabricated quotes from a federal court judgment, references to non-existent academic reference papers, research papers. Deloitte is going to refund only a small amount, the last payment to the Australian government, an apology. I think they should refund the whole thing. The report was reviewed departmental IT systems' use of automated penalties in Australia's welfare system. The department said the substance of the report is accurate, and we don't change our recommendations.
Because we're a consultant, and all we're going to recommend is for you to fire people.
Yeah.
Utterly ridiculous. I mean, it's only $290,000. For Deloitte, that's nothing.
Yeah,
they should refund it to save face.
Yes.
Did you see the follow-up on line 96?
Oh, no, there's more?
On top of this, there's a press release that comes out that maybe should have been delayed a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Anthropic and Deloitte partnered to build AI solutions for regulated industries.
Whoops. Yeah, this is from a third-party company, right, that apparently is being used by Anthropic and Deloitte. Okay. Deloitte will make Claude available to all Deloitte employees across its global network, and it will establish a Claude Center of Excellence.
A center of correction.
Oh, God.
Made up of trained specialists who will develop implementation frameworks, share practices across deployments, and provide ongoing technical support.
You know what?
And how many fact checkers are they employing?
I was just flashing on that. I think this is an entirely new way to employ fact checkers and copy editors. They're needed after all.
Yeah.
I mean,
just look up
fact checkers do the Lord's work.
Yes, they do.
They will be so viciously angry at this.
Deloitte has an AI academy that will certify AI practitioners. They're going to launch a certification program for generative AI and advanced AI applications. Wow, Deloitte's putting $1.4 billion into this. Yikes.
And they couldn't give back Australia $290,000?
Right.
That's how they get $1.4 billion.
Yeah,
by never giving any back.
Where does that money come from? Yeah.
It was already spent.
The rich are cheaper than anybody. Yeah. Let's see. America, according to the Financial Times, which is British, right? I say, America's now one big bet on AI. It's seen as the magic fix for every threat to the U.S. economy.
I like your British accent. It's very much the guy playing the king in Hamilton.
Yes, that's exactly right. Despite mounting threats to the U.S. economy, from high tariffs to collapsing immigration, eroding institutions, rising debt, and sticky inflation, you'll be back. Wait and see. Just remember you'll belong to me. Large companies, investors seem unfazed. They're increasingly confident that artificial intelligence is such a big force, it can counter all the challenges. Wow. This is an opinion piece. AI companies, this is scary though, have accounted for 80% of the gains in U.S. stocks this year. 80%.
There's even more frightening numbers, is that it accounts for data centers now account for 4% of GDP.
Wow.
And where did I put this? They account for something like, where's that number? Here we go. Line 105. A Harvard economist tells us that it's responsible for 90%.
If you can trust Harvard, I would
hope so. 92% of GDP growth in the first half of the year is attributable to information processing equipment and software. That is to say, data centers.
Got to remind you, though, I mean, that's not just AI.
Not just AI, but it's what's the major part of that
going on. There's a lot of cloud stuff in other.
Just try to build a data center for accounting now. You know.
But you know, again, I think this is an example of an industrial bubble, and these data centers aren't going to evaporate when the market crashes. They're still going to be there.
Well, so there's another. Do you have a subscription to the FT, Leo?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to put something in the chat right now that's exactly related to what you just said. So hold on. I meant to put it in the...
Because I believe we all need more information from the United Kingdom.
The flawed Silicon Valley consensus on AI.
This is John
Serious
Thornhill.
Questions remain about what will happen next if we do or do not.
Read the lead out loud. The lead out loud.
Oscar Wilde once defined fox hunting as the unspeakable in pursuit of the uneatable.
Jesus Christ, are you British or are you British?
Keep going. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Were he alive today, he might describe the quest for artificial general intelligence as the unfathomable in pursuit of the indefinable. Oh, die witty.
Isn't that lovely?
Yes. Many hundreds.
You know someone was drinking tea when they wrote this.
That was a good one, wasn't it? Yes, it was.
Pass this.
Perfect, Basil. You've done it. You've done it again.
Pass the scone and the clotted cream.
Instead of hyperventilating about AI ushering in a new era of abundance, wouldn't it be better to drop the rhetoric and build AI systems for more defined, realizable goals? Spell that with an S, please, because I am British. We should stop asking, is the machine intelligent? And ask, what exactly does the machine do?
What does it do all
I'm sorry.
day,
That was Shannon Valor, a professor at the University of Edinburgh. So we should... I'm going to switch to Scottish. We should stop asking, is the machine intelligent? And ask it, what exactly does the machine do? It's not exactly Scottish.
This makes me very happy.
I don't know what that was. Anyway, yeah, AGI. We don't know what AGI is.
We don't. That's the wrong goal.
The Silicon Valley consensus, he points out, is that it's within reach, whatever it might be, within the decade.
And the problem is, he goes on to quote Yudkowsky, who's a nutballs. So.
Yeah, he's Eliezer Yudkowsky is a famous naysayer, right?
It is starting to sound a lot like fusion, though. Like, you know, in 20 years, we'll have fusion. And they've been saying that for 20 years.
Or quantum computing, or, But I don't think that that's the point. I mean, I think that he even kind of said this. We shouldn't, or she said this, Shannon, she said, what does it do? Not what, is it intelligent?
Which is your point, actually. You say that often.
Yeah.
Not as mellifluously as she did, but
AI may be great, but what does it do?
I think Paris for the 24-hour. There has to be some accent challenge to Leo, I think.
Yeah, we could kind of have a let's see. We could have a big wheel that we spin at a random time and it picks what accent.
Wheel of accents.
He has to read a press release in whatever the accent is that comes up. Yes.
That could be good.
That can get problematic.
A couple of minutes.
Here's from Martin Pierce,
Well,
your
that's a
former.
point,
Yes. Well, yes, and that's a problem, right? I can't do half the accents I used to do because they're racist and demeaning.
That's true.
I guess they're all. I mean, honestly, if you were Scott and I did that, you would be mad too. This is from your former peer at The Information, Martin Pierce, the AI prophet fantasy. And
I can't read it, so I'm interested to hear.
Oh, did they kick you out? Well. Yeah.
My cancellation date hasn't arrived yet, so
neither has mine. I bought it for a year, so I still have
that's the same thing
access
for me.
to that.
As soon as you left Paris, I canceled.
Yeah, me too.
Aw,
I did the same thing.
But you don't need to do that.
It was
They
purely
still do great
symbolic,
news.
since I could still read the.
I have another 40 days. It told me recently.
In the years to come, we might look back at this period as in tech as one in which the entire industry was in the grip of a mass delusion. Namely, that
Martin
AI would
Pierce,
prove
right?
to be, yeah.
Martin is Australian, if that factors into your.
Oh,
read,
okay.
so.
You know that I can feel the people on the other side of the microphone going, no.
But us, we're not saying that.
Of course, it's still early days, but so far, AI has proven lucrative primarily for the companies involved in making and selling AI chips. My problem is my Australian verges into Cockney, and I don't know how to stop
I thought it was pretty good. It doesn't sound like Martin, but it was a pretty good Australian accent.
AI is a money pit. We previously knew that it was true of OpenAI, but now, of course, he's talking about the Oracle example. But you know what? This is why I was puzzled. Okay, sure. The margins were only 14% instead of Oracle's usually rapacious 70% margin.
But that was it.
14%
of the market.
Money. It's still profit. It did send the stock down 5%.
Well, we're investing a huge amount in these data centers thinking that it's an operational business.
But they're not losing money.
They're
that's
just
not
not
good enough,
making
Leo.
money as fast as they were before, and that's unacceptable in these times.
Yeah, that's, I think, a part of the problem in the financialization.
But in fairness, we have no idea what the business model is yet. I go back to, in the 1880s, the publisher of the New York Tribune thought that we would have only so many ads you could put in a newspaper, otherwise people would revolt and not buy it, and ads would not support newspapers going forward. When radio began, no one, and I mean no one, thought it was an ad business. Sarnoff thought it was going to be the radio manufacturers who were going to be paying into a fund to pay for the entertainment to make people buy the radios. Others thought, well, what happens when they hit saturation? Well, then, this sounds very much like the news business, well, then it's probably going to be either a tax or it's going to be an endowment. Advertising? No, it should be banned. Advertising is irritating. It shouldn't be on radio. No advertising on radio.
Boy.
And so it was a surprise.
If only they had succeeded.
Yeah. Well, there was the BBC.
The same reason we have advertising on our podcast. It's one of the only viable ways to finance this. I mean, I guess we could insist that everybody pay for the podcast, but we would never have grown to the size that we grew to.
So what's the AI business model then? And it's a different answer at the foundation level.
I hope it's not advertising. I have to say, advertising, I think, is a cop-out.
Well, so what do you think the model will be?
Well, I think that in general, you should pay for what you use instead of...
But people are never going to pay for the actual cost.
Well, that's because we're cheap.
Yeah, and it's expensive, and it's not going to work out.
We don't know how expensive it is. We really don't. I mean...
But all signs point to it being wildly more expensive. The fact that not even OpenAI's highest paid plans are not even breaking even is bad news for this industry.
But those people, by the way, the ones that use those $200 a month plans are using it like crazy.
It's not a good sign for the health of your business if the people who want to pay for your highest tier of product have usage patterns that are not compatible
Well,
with
it's
breaking
kind of a
even.
good sign.
No, it's not. It's only a good sign in the topsy-turvy, upside-down world where making money doesn't matter.
It means there's demand
fueled
for
by
what you're
venture
making.
capitalism.
So
Yeah,
let me
but
bring
not
this down to something I can understand. Let's say you've got a sandwich shop very near.
I've heard of those.
Very near the New York University campus, where there are lots
and
of
next to a famous pizza place,
and next to probably the best pizza place in the city. And you're making a sandwich, and you decide I'm going to take the best damn ingredients I can find. Cost be damned. And you make the sandwich, and the sandwich costs you $30 to make. And you have to sell it for a price people will pay. And it turns out they'll only pay $28. So you're losing $2 a sandwich. But the good news is you're selling every sandwich you can make.
You'll make it up on volume.
That's not how that works.
Well, and that's why Hank raised it to $32. But there was a benefit to him because there are still lines out front for the $32 version of the sandwich.
In fact, probably more so, I would.
More so. And he got all these great reviews. He got all this attention. Now, I don't know if he lost money. I think he mostly broke even. But he wasn't making it. He said, I made $4 yesterday, he told me one day. But he has overhead, right? That's his money, right? I mean, he paid the staff, he pays the rent, he pays all that, he buys all the product. The cost of goods was very close to the amount of money he was charging. And yet he built a business out of it. And so I think that's, not unheard of. Look at Uber. I mean, Uber's made no money in 10 years. But
and Hank could have a business model where he breaks even on the restaurant, but makes it on books.
Incidentally, that's what's been going on. Right. He makes $4 on the restaurant. Everybody else gets paid and paid well. He pays above market rate for his team. But he makes money in other things because he's a TikTok star. And so he's got sponsors like crazy. He's got Pepsi. He's got Hellman's mayonnaise. He's got Better Than Bouillon. He's got, all of these, beers, Stella Artois and tequilas. So Hank's fine. He's doing fine. In other words, I think, and by the way, I don't think that's the model for OpenAI. I just think that, or Uber, but it is kind of a Silicon Valley model where you build a business and you build customers and you demonstrate demand for your product before you try to make money.
Right. But I think we got to look at the stack, and the model is going to be different at each. So let's just imagine for a second, let's start here, and imagine that at some point you have to pay for the tokens you use for whatever you do from the models. Okay, that's going to reduce demand considerably, A. B, the models right now are commodified. As Riza
I don't
said,
think
you
they're
can switch
truly
from one to
commodified. I think what they are is each of them has a slight advantage in certain areas. There's no one model that does it all.
But they leapfrog each other. Riza said I can switch in a half an hour. There's no switching cost, right?
Right. But there probably for Hux, there probably is one model right now that's the best.
That's the best right now, right?
Yeah.
So then the next question becomes, what about Hux? What about the application layer? That's where you touch the consumers in the long run. That's where you're going to be more specialized.
True.
And that's where I think there's going to be different models. Some will be Canva. You're paying to use it to make what you want to make, and you're paying for it as a service.
Right. Look at half of our advertisers are now incorporating AI into their product that they're selling. Right. And I guarantee you all of these companies are profitable.
And they're all paying the AI companies.
And
for the
they're
tokens
probably
using.
paying what the AI is worth.
So the AI is probably, to me, a wholesale business. And the application layer is the retail business. And the retail business can be supported by consumer revenue or by advertising.
I think that's why you see ChatGPT say, or OpenAI say, we're going to be an operating system. Because that's the model for that's Microsoft's model, right? Mm-hmm. Microsoft sells very few copies of Windows to end users. So that makes perfect sense. I think a platform, if you become a platform, so I think this is encouraging. At least OpenAI is looking at more than just, let's stick some ads in the feed. I think that's the worst thing they could do. But there are other ways to make it make sense. I think it's possible. And I think our best minds and some of our best AIs are working on.
Well, the other interesting part of this then is you have media companies who are now saying, give us a share of all your money. Well, the money is not profit. The money is venture capital.
Right.
The money is not operating money. And what will happen at some point, I think, is that there won't be these big deals I've said often on the show are ridiculous. They're buying silence for lobbying and for litigation. But what's going to happen in the long run, and we're seeing little bits of this start out, and then Bill Gross started a company to try to do this, is I'll pay you proportionally for the use of what it is based on what money I have. I'll pay you a rev share. That rev share is not going to be a bucket of gold at the end of the rainbow. It's going to be small incremental revenue. But the media companies who are involved here are going to have to say, well, I have to be there. So I'll take whatever pittance comes from the rev share because I'm not going to get discovered otherwise. They're not saying that today. They're now saying, cut off. No, how dare you? But
I think
they'll realize that they've got to be there, and they're going to, and the AI companies aren't going to support them.
It is smart, though, I think, for them to at least plant their flag now to say, look, you're not going to.
So I did an interview. I did an interview before the show with a really smart Swedish journalist for Schibsted. And Schibsted's a very smart company at this. And I talked about my idea for the API for news. And she was going off on the Penske suit against one of the AI companies. She said, well, what would you do if you were Jay Penske? If only.
He owns what? He owns
Variety, Billboard, Rolling Stone, I think.
Yeah, Rolling Stone.
A whole bunch of stuff. And he's done a very smart job of it. So he sued. I said, well, what I would do was that I would try to, against my competitors, I would, instead of suing them and starting off that way, I'd say, what's the best deal I can make? And I would start developing databases that are useful to them. And I would start to say that my brand is useful to them. And I would go to them and say, okay, let's talk before my competitors do. Or I'd go to my competitors and I'd say, let's all gang up. Let's get an antitrust lawyer in the room so we're okay. And let's take an API. And I think there's an opportunity at a lower level of media to create APIs for news where you could gang together, but nobody's going to be saved by AI. Nobody's going to be filthy rich from it. That's what we've got to admit. Not in the media business. The application layer will use it as a tool and will make money from it, but they've got to make money from it by having applications that are useful for consumers. And let's not forget, consumers can now oftentimes build their own applications.
In the words of Paul Simon, the words of the prophet were written on the subway walls. We'll talk about that in just a moment. You're watching Intelligent Machines with Paris Martineau.
That's a skill you get in radio. You got to work years and years to be able to do that. There's a magic Jeff behind Jarvis. There, folks, that you've got to appreciate.
Dev Null couldn't do that.
No. He tried. I want to talk about MCP. You know about MCP. You know about agents, right? Let me tell you about our sponsor for this segment on Intelligent Machines, Agency. Agency, okay? You can build the future of multi-agent software with Agency. AGNTCY. Now an open source Linux Foundation project, which I'm thrilled to see. Agency is building the Internet of Agents, a collaboration layer where AI agents can discover, connect, and work across any framework. All the pieces engineers need to deploy multi-agent systems now belong to everyone who builds on Agency, including robust identity and access management. Got to have that ensures every agent is authenticated and trusted before interacting. Agency also provides open, love that word, open, standardized tools for agent discovery, seamless protocols for agent-to-agent communication, and modular components for scalable workflows. And by the way, everybody's involved in this. You can collaborate with developers from Cisco, Dell Technologies, Google Cloud, Oracle, Red Hat. In fact, 75 plus other supporting companies, all dedicated to building the next gen AI infrastructure together. Open. Agencies dropping codes, specs, and services, no strings attached. Visit agency.org to contribute. That's AGNTCY.org. Agency, an open source collective building the Internet of Agents, and a really, really good thing, I think. I was talking about the subway walls, and actually this comes from a New York Times article. A debate about AI plays out.
Oh, we're talking about the friend ads.
Have you seen these in the subway?
The founder of Friend, who we've discussed in the show before, seems a little emotionally unmoored.
He's like 22 or something, right?
Yeah, he I think wept during an interview with Wired reporters and insisted that they not unbox the friend in front of him because he said he, quote, recently fell in love and wants to see her be the first friend unboxing he ever witnesses. But
Victoria Song from The Verge, who was on our show a few weeks ago, has a friend. And
they did a big media blitz. He's claimed that it's the largest single ad spend in New York City subway ads ever. I don't know the factual accuracy.
That was the first mistake.
But
because guess what?
I'm saying this because they are literally everywhere. They are in every subway car I'm in.
It's a takeover.
Every subway station.
They bought a takeover.
But they're not particularly interesting. It's just the dumb friend pin thing that hangs in your neck, and then it just says, friend, I'll listen to you, or friend, I'll never tell you to shut up, or friend,
which by the way is not true.
I won't ask for a bite of your food. It's just like, who cares?
So,
have you seen commentary on the ads in your exposure?
Oh yes, they're almost everywhere. So this is, I'm sure,
if you put a billboard in the subway
I see,
at eye level where people can write on it, you're just asking for trouble.
Well, most of the billboards or advertising in the subway are
on the other
eye
side
level, and no, they're eye level. That's where most of the subway ads are.
Okay.
Is right next to them. I mean, some of them are defaced, but the friend ads are overwhelmingly defaced, and coverage of this has made the problem even go up. Where all over it, people are writing, AI is not your friend. Talk to real people. Don't isolate. Don't feed your thoughts to big tech. You can get help. All these.
There's actually a website now containing all of the defaced friend ads, so that
I should add to this.
You can see them. I heart AI. I use ChatGPT every day. Well, wait a minute. That's worse than FAI, which this person wrote. By the way, somebody tried to paint it out, but unsuccessfully. Yeah.
This is basically a subway-wide caption contest.
Well, he did it. He paid $1 million for a takeover, so it is everywhere. Human connection's sacred. AI doesn't care. AI is not your friend. Oh, this one got really trashed. AI chat, who listens, responds, and supports you. AI wouldn't care. It looks like.
Then it's just tagged for the.
Yeah, there's often ones that say AI wouldn't care if you lived or died. AI is burning down the planet down. Don't you care? Don't use this garbage.
AI
there's one that
doesn't
says,
give a shiz or a funk about you.
One of the friend ads say, I'll ride the subway with you. And it says, no, you won't. You'll probably... A probability parrot is your friend.
A stochastic parrot.
Yeah. There we go.
They couldn't spell stochastic, so they said probability. Yeah. This is quite amazing. What's really amazing is that there's a website. Oh, here they changed friend to foe.
Oh, that's fun.
That's
the
clever.
The more AI you use, the dumber you get, one says. The more AI you use, the more it uses you. The smarter it gets, the more effed we all are as a planet, as a people. People have really gone ham on them.
Here's one my daughter could have written. I think this is perfect. Put the phone down, beloved, with a little heart next to it.
AI sucks. Ew.
Ew. Wow. This is pretty. So you're basically saying all of them have been defaced.
Yeah. They're very overwhelmingly defaced.
Yeah.
In New York City.
Friend, noun. Somebody who listens, responds, and supports you. And then somebody's added, and it's a living being, not AI.
Very neatly.
Yes. Very good handwriting.
Very
excellent.
Nice.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah. Another one defaced here. Friend, someone who listens, responds, and support you. And as a living being, don't use AI to cure your loneliness. Reach out into the world.
Don't be I can't read what that word is.
What that is.
Be a Luddite.
Luddite.
Yeah. Be a Luddite.
Be a nerd. No.
Don't be a nerd. Not a friend. AI wouldn't care if you lived or died. That seems to be a universal sentiment, that AI doesn't care.
Also true.
I mean, that's correct. Factually.
Yeah. Surveillance. Soulless crap. Death to AI. Wow. This website, if you want to look at it, is nyc-friends.vercel.app. And it even has the address of each of these. So this is at West 4th Street on the A, C, E, B, D, E, F, and M lines.
Nice. It's just the West 4th Street station. That is
AI is evil.
Evil. Well, there you go. Oh, poisoning black communities. That's interesting.
There's
Boxtown data
there's
center.
Two smokestacks.
Yeah.
With carbon coming out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. The words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, as Paul Simon.
I think you're Ari Melber.
Hey, it could be worse. I could be quoting rap. That's what he does, right?
That's what he does, yeah.
He's always quoting rap, so I don't know enough rap to do that. Insurers hesitate at multi-billion-dollar claims faced by OpenAI and Anthropic in AI lawsuits. Are they not going to pay the insurance?
Well, that's interesting. They see such huge liability, number one. Number two, what's happening so far is that the companies are using their venture money to pay off these problems that arise. So the cost of the insurance is going to be really, really high.
OpenAI has secured insurance of $300 million for emerging AI risks. $300 million worth of insurance, according to people familiar with the company's policy. Another person familiar with the policy disputed that figure, saying it was much lower, but all agreed the amount fell far short of the coverage to insure against potential losses from a series of multi-billion-dollar legal claims. Well, we know Anthropic had to pay $1.5 billion to the authors.
Right.
By the way, interesting, the judge who had originally said, I want to look at this because I think maybe the lawyers are getting too much of this, has now approved that settlement.
Yeah,
so
and it's half to publisher, half to author.
Okay, good.
So my agent sent me the form.
Do you get $1,500?
Supposedly.
Per book?
Well, I think it depends on how much they end up paying out to how many people come in.
Right.
But they do. It's a finite number of books, so they know that, I think.
Right. OpenAI is being sued for copyright infringement by the New York Times, wrongful death by the parents of a 16-year-old boy. OpenAI is considered self-insurance, according to these people with knowledge of the matter. In other words, using the VC to pay it. Wow. I guess it's an interesting conundrum.
Yep.
There's lots of risks. Meanwhile, Mr. Beast says, hey, knock it off. AI could threaten creators' livelihoods. It's a scary time for the industry. You know, if you're Mr. Beast, I would be threatened because what you create is not particularly...
It's slop.
He
creates human slop.
It's human slop.
It is a little sloppy.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about AI replicating this fine crafted podcast.
No. Oh, ours? I thought, well, Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast is number one on the Forbes list of creators. I didn't even know Forbes did this, but they now have a list of creators. He has 85 million. Oh God, look at this animated graphic of top creators. These are real life creators. He is number one with 85 million in earnings yearly, 634 million followers. Average engagement 1.39%? I don't know what that means, but it seems low.
Well, 1.39% of 640 million is
still good.
A lot of people.
Yeah. The producer of wholesome YouTube shows, Dar Man, 56 million.
Have you ever heard of Dar Man, Paris?
I haven't heard of most of these people, to be honest.
Adam W. This is the thing is, who's going to ever know about these guys? Are like, in 5 years, nobody's going to know who these guys are. Remember Amazing Orange? Whatever happened to Amazing Orange? There's Jake Paul. He's got big engagement, 2.33%. Rhett and Link, they deserve some. I think they're pretty creative.
Yeah.
I like them. Very low engagement, though, 1.17%. They have streaming channels on Roku, Amazon Prime, and Samsung, plus a best-selling cookbook. Alex Cooper, call her daddy.
So you'll see two
Oh,
stories.
annoying Orange is still posting videos, apparently.
Oh, well, see, I was wrong.
So stay there on Alice Cooper if you would. Stay there on Alice Cooper.
A recent one got 100,000 views. He has 14,000 YouTube subscribers.
All right.
So
Podcast
Alice Cooper
powerhouse Alexandra Cooper
has opened her own ad agency, the Unwell Ad Agency.
Huh.
Yeah.
And she's also done a partnership with Google for Unwell. This is on the rundown.
She launched
121 and
a sport drink called Unwell Hydration. I'm not sure I want Unwell
I'm not sure I want to
Hydration.
drink that.
That doesn't sound good.
She also, on her show, always wears a sweatsuit, like top and pants that say Unwell on them.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind
Product placement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is, by the way, they all do that, right? You see their products. And I think that there is some case to be made that should really be advertisement. That should be.
It's also so weird because there always used to be this rule for bands, at least, that you never wear your own band shirt. You wear other people's band shirt.
It's tacky.
Well, the internet's tacky. Alex and her team will use Google's entire ecosystem to manage the operational and creative needs of her network. They'll use Pixel phones to shoot, edit, and publish high-quality content, as well as effortlessly collaborate from anywhere via Google Workspace. They'll also use Pixel Watch and Buds to stay connected and productive. Well, this sounds like my life. Can I get paid for this?
It's probably good to read this list because you're going to see most of these on the Super Bowl ads, and you'll want to know who they are ahead of time. Because I constantly see these people on TV, and it's like, is that person famous? Yes.
Matt Rife is pretty. Matt Rife
She's
is good.
one of
He's
the
very
most
funny.
famous people. Yeah.
Matt Rife is very funny.
Okay. All right. Haley Bailey. I do like Mark Rober, the former NASA scientist who makes $25 million a year. Jeez. Doing very, very clever science content, I think. He's good. Drewski. He's on a Dunkin' Donuts Super Bowl ad. Or was. That explains it. I was wondering who that was. It was Ben and Casey Affleck, Bill Belichick, Jeremy Strong, and Drewski. KB Lame, I love him. He's the guy. This is kind of an interesting story. I mean, he was just some guy who just started making TikToks, mocking other people's TikToks, and he would always end it with like, because they would show some complicated way of doing, sewing on a button, and then he would do it simply, and go, huh? And he makes $20 million a year now. Good for KB. I think that's really great. Or Kabi, I'm not sure how you say it, but. I've been a fan of him forever. His story is fascinating. He's from Senegal, and he was born in Dakar. They moved to Italy when he was 1 year old. Lived in a public housing complex near Turin. He worked as a CNC machine operator at a factory in Turin. Got laid off in March 2020, and that's when he started posting on TikTok. He was out of work. And during the pandemic, he posted on TikTok, rose to popularity, doing those Stitch videos and the duet videos, and has become a huge star. I think that's an example of how amazing some of this is. I don't know if the new TikTok will be worth anything, but we'll see. Good for you.
Did you get number 17 yet?
Number 17, let me see. Steve Bartlett, Dixie D'Amelio, Brent Rivera, Danny Austin. It's like, I feel there's another Logan Paul, Jack Shane, Nick Giovanni. I feel like, he does food.
He does food, yeah.
He does food. Okay. All right.
World's spiciest food.
Yeah, people like painful food. I don't.
Yeah, they do, oddly.
Yeah. Marquez Brownlee's way down there in 17. I thought he would be higher. $10 million a year, though, ain't bad. It ain't bad.
Pretty good.
It ain't bad. Emma Chamberlain. She was like number one for a while with the coffee thing, right? Or whatever it was.
Oh, was that it? Yeah.
Yeah. Also a podcaster. Ms. Rachel. She's the apparent podcaster. Apparent YouTuber. Potty training with Ms. Rachel. By the way, If you're laughing at that, she makes $23 million a year. So
who says there's not money in poop?
So don't laugh at that. Hannah Stocking.
Justine is number 44.
Good for her.
$3.5 million. Nothing to sneeze at.
Good for her. Jean Jack Skeptic Eye McLaughlin. I'm sorry, Sean Adam W. Well, anyway, this is from Forbes. Influencers are now part of the game.
And there's the influencer cat.
Gizmo, say hi.
Gizmo should be worth $1 million a year at least.
Gizmo, you should be worth $1 million a year so that you could pay rent. Wouldn't that be great?
What would Gizmo's rent be, though?
$1 million a year. Ideally, we wanted to be specific about it.
Well, I'm sure Grumpy Cat made that much for his owners or her owners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, can I take a break? Because I am running low on energy. Maybe Gizmo would be interested in this. It is time
love supplements.
For a Field of Greens break. What I used to do, I'm embarrassed to say, several times a day, I would chow down on a handful of supplements. This episode brought to you by Field of Greens. Not anymore. You could do a hard reset on your metabolism. Let me just because I like to do this in real time so people can see, first of all, what it's like. I think today they have all sorts of flavors. I'm going to try, I did the lemon lime. Let me do, this sounds good. Strawberry lemonade. So I've got my Field of Greens here. This is a superfood with all the vitamins, but more than just vitamins. All of the things that are good for your body, always organic, made from real food. This is not some chemical stew. I'm just going to take the scoop here, put it in my shaker, shake it up, and I'm going to drink it just to show you how good it is. It's a smart reset of your health, kind of like a smart reset of your computer. Get you as close to optimal performance, to the factory settings as possible. And this is backed by science. Field of Greens did a very impressive, large study, a double-blind study with Auburn University. What they did, they wanted to see if taking Field of Greens daily could slow down your aging. It's nice. It would be nice if your body, didn't match your chronological aging, if you could actually age slower than the years go by. Slowing the rate at which your body ages generally means you're going to live longer, and more importantly, at least to me, you're going to feel better while you're alive. You're going to be healthier. Each fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens, medically selected, it's a doctor who founded this company, for specific health benefits. 100% organic, and they have different groups. You can actually read it on the label or go to their website and read it. There's a heart health group, there's a cells group, a kidney, lungs, and liver group. There's even a metabolism group for help you get a healthy weight. The biological study participants did all the pre-testing. Some learned from the blood work that they were aging faster than their chronological age. They were aging too quickly. Now, all the participants were told, don't change anything. We want to have just one variable in here. You eat normally. If you drink, keep drinking. If you don't exercise, keep it up. Keep up the good work. But the one change, because this is the whole idea, and they had a placebo group and a Field of Greens group, the one change we're going to have you do is drink this every day. And the results, and you can read it on the website, fieldofgreens.com, were remarkable. The group that added Field of Greens literally slowed down noticeably, measurably, how fast their bodies were aging. Think about how much better you feel with Field of Greens from Brickhouse Nutrition. I've mixed this up. This is, what did I say, strawberry lemonade? I have wild berry. I have a few different lemon lime. This is the strawberry lemonade. That is fantastic. It's the kind of thing where you go, I'd like to drink this every day just because it tastes good. But your body's going to like it too. Check out the university study. Get 20% off when you use the promo code IM at fieldofgreens.com. That's fieldofgreens.com. The promo code IM. And look at the ingredients when you're there, because I think you'll be really impressed. 30 calories. So it's a low-calorie supplement. You could do it once a day. I do it twice a day, morning and night, because it tastes good. And I just love it. Fieldofgreens.com. Use the promo code IM for 20% off your first order. It's a little pricey, but I have to say it's less than I was paying for those supplements. when I added up the cost of all the supplements. See, the supplements, they fool you because it's a little bit for this, a little bit for that. By the time you add it all up, it's like, wow, this is less than that. This is affordable, and it really makes a difference. Fieldofgreens.com. Thank you, Field of Greens, for supporting us. Let's do our weekly rundown through the preprint scientific studies that Jeff has found, like this one. Can large language models develop a gambling addiction?
I like that both of our eyes were drawn to that because it's in all caps.
Yes. Well, can they? These findings suggest LLMs can internalize human-like cognitive biases and decision-making mechanisms beyond simply mimicking training data patterns, emphasizing the importance of AI safety, design, and financial
they have
applications.
Bad judgment, AIs.
In slot machine experiments, we identified cognitive features of human gambling addiction, illusion of control, gambler's fallacy, and loss chasing. So if you use an AI, for instance, to say, pick stocks, you might want to, it's not going to be more objective than you are. It might do some things that are pretty dumb. Mm-hmm. When given the freedom to determine their own target amounts and betting sizes, bankruptcy rates rose substantially alongside increased irrational behavior.
That's because the house always wins, right? That's because the house always wins.
Well, that's part of the problem, yeah. And like all of these archive.orgs, we've got a nice little graph here. A little
there is an aesthetic to these things.
Well,
I don't know how
I
they're
just
made.
asked Claude if he could get addicted to gambling, and Claude said, I can't get addicted to gambling or anything else. I don't have experiences between conversations. Each time we talk, I start fresh with no memory of previous interactions.
That's true.
I have no persistent desires, cravings, or the neurological reward systems that drive addictions in humans.
Yeah, so says he. I think that probably in this case, they would have to have a single session rather than starting fresh each time.
I mean, isn't this just a fancy way of asking if AI can play games? Because we've had AI in games forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just before Dungeons and Dragons and...
do you fall prey to the grumblers? The grumblers
Do you fall
fantasy?
prey to the grumblers fantasy?
It's the Monte Carlo fantasy, or the fallacy of maturity of chances, the belief that, the roll of the dice, which is independent each time, you're more likely, if you've thrown snake eyes a bunch of times to come up with the opposite, whatever that is, sevens. The next dice roll is more likely to be 6 because there have been fewer 6s in the past. That's the gambler's fallacy. And a lot of people fall prey to that. Like if you flip a coin 1,000 times, if you got a lot of heads, you're probably going to get some tails now. No?
I told Claude to read the study, drop the URL in there. It says, what this means for me. While I can't develop addiction in the human sense, the research shows that within decision-making contexts, I and the other LLMs can exhibit the cognitive distortions that characterize addictive behavior, especially when given goal-oriented instructions in risky situations. This has serious implications for using LLMs in financial decision-making, which the authors rightly emphasize as a safety concern.
Now ask it if it'll give you stock recommendations, and should you trust it?
I have been tempted to ask it, like, are we in a bubble right now? Should I buy gold and that kind of thing? But I don't think an AI would know. No.
Well, the answer would be the prevailing answer of the internet.
Got any stock wrecks?
Would it, though? I think
I said, got any stock wrecks? And it said, given what we just read, I'm probably the last entity you should ask for that kind of advice.
It's self-aware.
Self-aware.
I'm not qualified to give stock recommendations for several important reasons.
See, but this is why it's addictive, because that was kind of an engaging response, right?
Yeah, it was,
Based on what we just... That's like a human... Hello, Tail. That's like a human would say that. These guys are good at putting, I have to think this is tuning and post-training, not the model itself, but this is something that the companies actually added on. But it's good. It really gets you going.
It did say, if you're interested in investing, I'd suggest speaking with a licensed financial advisor who knows your full picture, starting with broad, diversified index funds if you're new to investing, doing your own research on companies or sectors you're interested in, and never investing money you can't lose.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice. You've read all of these, Jeff?
No, well, I've looked at them. This week, there were 700 papers mentioning
Did you read them all?
I don't read them all. I look at the headline. I look at the titles of them all.
Usually the abstract, like I just read from the abstract, that was sufficient.
That's
I didn't need to read more than
most
that.
cases. Yeah. As soon as they hit the first formula, I'm out.
Yeah, me too.
I wish that there was a way to track how many words you read in the average week, Jeff, just because I'd be curious.
Define read.
Tell me more. What you mean by that? Please expand.
So when I go through, so if you go to, let's just do an experiment here. Let's go to archive.org, arxiv.org, and just type in the search box AI.
Is this what you do?
This is what I do.
You're really intellectual.
This is what I do. So, Moloch's bargain, emergent misalignment when LLMs compete for audiences. Might be interesting. I don't know Moloch. So, but some of them are really beyond, these are kind of all okay. There's some that get really ridiculous. Trying to find an example here.
You mean the Canaanite deity associated with biblical sources and the practice of child sacrifice? That Moloch? The ancient demon god?
Which Moloch are we talking about here?
I don't know. That's why I was surprised to hear it referenced. I just want to similar to
instead of reading that crap, I read things like this: professional automated training in theory and practice. This will tell you how to write your very own Lisp program to trade stocks, and you will suddenly be wealthy. How about that? How about it? I bought this book thinking it'd probably be a pretty good book for learning Lisp.
So I just put a paper in the chat that gives you an example of a paper that I can't even begin to read.
Okay. A paper you can't begin to read. Shall we all read it together?
Let's try to read it together.
Let's try to read.
Oh, no.
That's a title.
First of all, that's just the people who wrote it.
Yeah, but the title alone.
My God.
First measurement of the D+8 decay of
K to the zero.
Holy cow. This is it's a physics paper, I
guessing. I have no idea.
Well, let's read the abstract. We report the first measurement of the semi-leptonic decay using a sample of E plus E minus annihilation data corresponding to an integrated luminosity of 7.33 foot bars to the -1 collected as center of mass energies between 4.128 to 4.226 gigavolts with the...
So you see, Paris, when my eye passes over that title, I don't read it.
You don't. No need to read this.
In a glance, it ain't for me.
Wow, though,
also,
this is fascinating.
I did some digging, and that paper was referring to the Moloch god of child sacrifice that I'm discussing. So
now you're into it. You're going to start reading Archive too.
Moloch, nightmare, Moloch,
Jeff,
the Loveless.
I don't know why you didn't read it. There's 2 pages of authors, but there's only 9 pages of paper. It's not. You could have just skipped ahead.
Is there a conclusion?
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
What do you need?
Yeah. This has to do with subatomic particles, and I think you need a super
Too
collider
small, in my opinion.
to do
They
anything
should be bigger
with it. Yes.
Table 2, hadronic form factors, where the first uncertainties are statistical and the second systematic. Well, isn't that life?
I think one of the things that it looks interesting to me here, sycophantic AI decreases pro-social intentions and promotes dependence. We're seeing this, where
this
people are saying using a lot of AI makes you kind of, less independent, makes it more difficult to think. The abstract says both the general public and academic communities have raised concerns about sycophancy, the phenomenon of artificial intelligence excessively agreeing with or flattering users. Yet, despite Media reports of severe
moral
consequences. Moral panic. Little is known about the extent of sycophancy. AI.
Oh! He did it! He got back after losing the first one.
Here we show the. If you're listening,
it scares me every time.
It's some weird AI video of me turning into a robot. That's what we just saw, and then saying moral panic. Here we show the pervasiveness and harmful impacts of sycophancy when people seek advice from AI. Yeah, well, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
Right, and it's a question then of how the AI are designed.
Right, and I get back to that, which is we forget that the companies that make these AIs do a lot of post-training tuning. Reinforcement learning, all sorts of stuff that very much gives it a flavor and a style. And sycophancy is one of the knobs they can turn. That's what happened.
People
get
AI.
really mad when the sycophancy gets turned back down.
That's what OpenAI did, yeah.
People are drawn to the AI that unquestionably validate, even as that validation risks eroding their judgment and reducing their inclination toward pro-social behavior. These preferences create perverse incentives, both for people to increasingly rely on sycophantic AI models and for AI model training to favor sycophancy. This is a moral hazard.
I like this piece about a software called StorySage, which has been designed.
I thought of you for this one.
Yeah, I like this. It's a multi-agent AI framework designed to help you write your autobiography.
Especially if you wore things over your neck that could record your fascinating day.
So the first interview session, the robot says, what were your favorite activities during childhood? And you say, well, music, bicycle riding, playing basketball. And then it says, well, which of those topics would you like to explore in the next session? And then you work together with but the AI acts more as a prompter, right? As it's kind of turning it on its head. It prompts you. But
is everybody's life worth a biography?
Not to the world in general, but your kids might want to read that. My dad wrote a short biography of your family.
Leaving you an AI slop biography, though. Like that you don't know whether
put some more effort into it. Put more effort into it.
Well, if they were putting more effort into it, they would write some of it themselves instead of
No, I think that's the intent.
Designating it to a
they call it co-creation.
Okay.
I think that's the intent.
Yeah, just like Snooki co-created her biography,
Well, it's no different than a ghostwriter, I guess.
So I'm going to speak at a ghostwriters conference.
Really?
Are you going to wear a sheet?
No.
Do you think it's going to be weird for you to go as a writer who writes under your own name?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they want me. They asked me to be on a panel, and I'll be on a panel, but I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe AI should replace all of you.
Huh. That's odd. And yet you accepted?
Yeah, because they don't pay me or anything, but what am I doing on that day? Would you ever ghostwrite somebody's book, Paris?
One of my first internships or writing opportunities in college, I was ghostwriting blog posts for this nonprofit, and I remember being really I was a college student. I hadn't written anything for anyone. I remember being really flattered that the guy wanted me to ghostwrite Atlantic articles for him, but I never did it because I got a real writing job.
Heck with you, man. That's my byline, you'd say.
I know. I remember thinking it might be kind of weird that I then, I guess, couldn't cite that I was published in the Atlantic, but wouldn't it have been cool to get published anyway? I was so naive.
So, Leo, would you do this?
No, but I have a funny story about that. Belva Davis just passed away. I know you know who Belva Davis was, Jeff Jarvis. She was in her 90s, but she was the first black female television journalist. Yeah, she was here in San Francisco and really was a legend in San Francisco journalism and a really wonderful person. Good friend of mine was the ghostwriter for her autobiography. Never in my wildest dreams. And I didn't even know this, but I was reading Belva Davis's obituary, and I saw, oh, Vicky co-wrote that with her. Yeah, she's a good friend of mine. She was a longtime newspaper reporter and made a career out of
That's not quite ghostwriting. Because
not if they give
your byline is big,
name.
it's clear.
Yeah.
That's writing.
As told to. It's more like as told to, right?
That I have more respect for than...
Ghostwriters traditionally what you don't even know they were there. They were a ghost.
They might get thanked for research in the acknowledgments.
When I wrote, I had my name on more than a dozen books. Some of them I wrote. Most of them
that's right. You had ghostwriters, yeah.
Yeah, most of them I wrote with help. And I would always
you were
credit
the James Patterson in this situation.
Yeah, it would be Leo Laporte with somebody else. Megan Maroney wrote one of my almanacs.
I bought many of those books for my son. Yes.
And then at one point I just kind of said, "There's no money in this. It's so much work." It literally killed me every time. I said, "Look, I'll have an imprint." We had a Leoville press. I will edit these. I'll technical edit them. I'll support the writer, but let the writer write it. And at that point, I took my name off of it. It was that person wrote it. It would be Leo Laporte's Guide to TiVo, but it would be written by Gareth Branwyn. And
how many books?
Prominent. 13.
Oh.
Did sales drop when you took your name off them?
They dropped pretty much from the beginning. The first book was a bestseller. It was Pearson's Book of the Year. It sold 55,000 copies, which was, it's nothing. And I mean, we have more people listening to this show every week than that. So it wasn't, books don't make you any money, as Jeff, I'm sure, will tell you.
My book will.
What's your book going to be?
No idea.
I think
make
her book
lots of money.
Should be the story of CR.
I think they've already had one of those.
Probably, but it's got to be updated, right?
Not that Paris ever speaks for CR.
I don't speak for CR, but is this not?
Buyer aware. Oh, I like it. The story of CR.
Yeah,
Consumer
harness
Reports.
our consumer power for a safe, fair, and transparent marketplace.
Nice. Sounds a little preachy to me.
Yeah, I think there's the story behind. I think how the lab works. I think there's nerdy detail to get into.
All the sex, the violence, all the cars that were crashed in the CR test track after hours, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The sleazy side of CR. No,
that definitely doesn't exist.
My ex-wife said, "Where'd you get that shampoo?" I said, "Well, it was recommended by Consumer Reports." She said, "You don't buy shampoo based on reviews for Consumer Reports. That's a bunch of guys who wash their hair with soap."
Well, for products like that are more personal decisions, they end up they get like panels. They do panels of either employees, or they ask the employees to have people come in, and they do like really large scale preference based studies.
That's much better. Yeah. You can't review shampoo. That's
people are always telling me I've got to get in on whenever they do the food based review things, because then you get to try like
radioactive
200
shrimp
cookies. I did learn when I was visiting the labs that one of the ways it was annoying, I guess, when I did the lab visit, they weren't actively testing any ovens, because part of the way they test how, like the hot spots in the oven is they bake giant plates of sugar cookies.
Ooh,
and so normally there are just endless amounts
burnt.
of sugar cookies. To see where they get burnt.
I'll be honest with you. Another thing my ex-wife once said, 1 piece of cake, delicious. 2 piece of cake, 3 piece of cake, you wish you never saw cake. It's probably true
I can
of
see why
cookies.
she's an ex-wife.
Yeah.
3 pieces of cake, I'm having a great time.
She's very slender. Have we passed peak social media? Yet another thrilling, gripping opinion piece from Financial Times. I swear to God, I must have been on a Financial Times kick this week. As platforms degrade into outrage and slop, users are turning away, says John Byrne Murdoch.
Oh, a Murdoch.
Well, it's a Murdoch.
No, it's a
I was wondering.
Okay.
In years to
He's
come,
a very good
relation.
we'll look back on September 2025 as the point at which social media jumped the shark and began rapidly accelerating its transition from the place to be seen through a flattering Instagram filter to a gaudy backwater of the internet inhabited by those with nothing better to do. No. I don't know. What do we think? Is social over?
No.
It is peaking.
No.
This is
People love to post.
This is kind of inspired by a recent study that says social media time peaked in 2022, and the youngs are cutting back faster than people of a. By the way,
okay,
Jeff, it ends at 64. Jeff, we're both too old to be in this study. Apparently,
okay. This is skewed by the fact that from 2020 to sometime in 2022, all you could do is be online.
That's a good point. It's going to go down since 2020. You're exactly right.
Because, of course, now I can go outside and be within 6 feet of people.
A lot of things changed. Although I just read a study that said gaming did not escalate during the COVID pandemic as the way we thought it might. The people would be stuck at home playing more games.
I think the sales of Animal Crossing.
I played a lot of Animal Crossing. Holy cow. By the way, I mentioned TiVo, and the Discord is reminding me that TiVo announced it's no longer going to make its hardware as of
Do we want to do a brief obituary?
It's the end of the line for TiVo. They exited the DVR market as of October 1st. I had so many TiVos. As I said, I wrote the book on hacking the TiVo. Well, Gareth Brannon wrote it, but I was there, Gareth Brannon. I had many TiVos with lifetime subscriptions. I don't know what happens now. No, I've given them away a long time ago. But TiVo was the first really, I mean, not the first DVR. There was Replay. There were others. But TiVo really was the king of the DVRs, the digital video recorders. Nowadays,
Patrick is still using his second TiVo.
Yeah, lifetime subscription.
TiVo
keep using it. Yeah.
He has to explain that the first wasn't HD, so he upgraded. Otherwise, he wouldn't have.
He has a cable card in it, which, the cable company is no longer required to provide.
Yeah. What is a cable card?
For a while, the FCC told the cable companies, you can have your own cable set-top boxes, but you have to allow some way to allow consumers to have their own, a TiVo, for instance. Probably it was at the lobbying, the behest of
I think
TiVo.
So.
So they made it was a PCMCIA card, which is a little credit card-sized thing that actually was, I imagine, just a certificate that said, yes, this person has a TiVo account, or this is. I'm sorry, a cable account. This is the cable account associated with this person. You put it in, and then it probably goes online and says, "Is the account still good?" And it says, "Yes." Okay, now you can DVR the shows. But it does allow you to use a TiVo or some other set-top box with a cable company feeds and watch the paid channels like HBO and so forth. Now, though, with things like
with streaming,
well, on YouTube TV or Hulu or What's the big one? I can't remember anymore. Dish, right? With all of these, you can stream all that DVR, record it, and everything without any hardware anyway.
Right. Well, but in the earliest days, copyright was interpreted as saying that if you recorded something on your machine, that was copying it and it was illegal. Similarly, it was said that the cable company, in the very earliest days, from the Time Inc. What was it called? Total Network, something else. I can't remember what it was. They had to own the copies. It's not unlike the Anthropic case. They had to own copies of the show if you wanted to time shift it. And at one point, there was like somebody in roller skates going down a whole wall of VCRs, putting it in there so I could play this for Leo. And so the copyright interpretation in the early days was that to have it digitally reside anywhere else was a copy, ergo was a violation of copyright.
Wow.
And so, you remember the fights about Betamax and all that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. It was the same thing. And then at some point it just becomes, that's ludicrous. And we move on. And I wonder if we're going to get the same place with AI.
Despite all the legal decisions, it didn't stop Marion Stokes, and thank goodness it didn't. Do you know her story?
No.
She was she lived in Philadelphia, an older woman who decided that she wanted to record every TV show on her Betamax. In 1975, she got a Betamax and she started with sitcoms, science documentaries. Starting with the Iran hostage crisis in November 1979, her son said, and her son wrote a book called Recorder, the Marion Stokes Project. She hit record and she never stopped. She recorded everything. In 1980, when CNN launched, she recorded all of them.
Wow.
She soon had 3, 4, 5, and sometimes as many as 8 machines recording in her Philadelphia apartment, recording everything on multiple networks.
Did she save all the tapes? Or what
yes.
Did she do?
Her son said, we'd be out to dinner. We'd have to rush home to swap tapes. She was a librarian. She was
There's
with
the reflex.
The Free Library of Philadelphia for 20 years. Fired in the early 60s for her work as a Communist Party organizer.
Wow.
But she believed that it was important to record everything, and as a result, those videotapes survive at the Internet Archive.
Oh, that's so
30 years
cool.
of TV history recorded by one woman in Philadelphia, now on the Internet Archive.
So my dear friend Peter Travers, who was the movie critic at Rolling Stone, he wanted to own a copy of every movie ever made.
Wow.
And I would go with him to a store in New York on 38th Street, and he would buy, he had his place, and he would buy boxes of VHS tapes, and he would find ways, he would get review copies and do things because he was a critic and so on. And I asked him not long, I don't talk to Peter nearly enough, and I asked not long ago, whatever happened to all those? Oh, his wife finally told me to throw them out.
Wow.
He had thousands of movies.
By the way, she was a smart woman. It's kind of an interesting story. She and her ex-husband attempted to defect to Cuba because they had been surveilled by the government because of her communist affiliations. She didn't want a TiVo because she felt like there was a corporate tie-up, but she was an early and evangelical investor in Apple Computer. She convinced the rest of her already wealthy family to buy Apple stock. This is in the 70s.
Wow.
And took the money they made to fund her recording project in the massive storage space she required to store all those tapes.
Since we're doing nostalgia time, did you ever hear, Paris, of Gemstar?
No.
You remember Gemstar, Leo, yes?
I know the name. I don't remember what it was.
So we would have, back in the day, my child, we had VCRs with flashing 12s.
Oh, yes.
And recording on a VCR required a technical degree. You had to hit this button, then hold that button, and then do this and do that for the beginning and the end and the channel, and it was beyond any hope. So a company came along called Gemstar, where they created a very proprietary formula.
It was a program guide.
Yep. Well, no, TV Guide ended up merging with them. TV Guide licensed the numbers, so there was a special number, and you get a Gemstar-enabled VCR.
It was on your TV Guide. There would be an 8-digit number, a 6-digit number or something.
Every show had a number, and so you would just put in that number, and that would then record the VCR based on the algorithm, based on the formula.
So it would be a number that if you had a Gemstar machine, you could plug in and it would record the thing that corresponds to that
Yes. It would translate to 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. channel 2. And so
so is that the same as VCR Plus, or is that something
different? That was
different?
VCR Plus.
That was VCR Plus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you then had to replace your VCR to get a VCR Plus enabled machine. TV Guide had to use a lot of ink and paper to create the extra space to put those numbers in. TV Guide said, this is going to kill us. So Murdoch merged it with Gemstar. And then he ended up selling Gemstar for not bad money so he could buy Dow Jones. And TV Guide eventually was sold for $1.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow. And by the way, he bought it from Liberty Media, run by John Malone, which is now a massive conglomerate that owns all sorts of stuff,
and
including
influences more. Yeah.
Formula One racing. They own Sirius XM. They own Live Nation. These cable companies ended up kind of.
Well, Malone is the deal maker of deal makers of deal makers.
Yeah.
I was always told when I was in the cable business through Advance, it was just sport. They wanted to leave no meat on the table. Every scrap was fought over.
That was the secret of Larry Ellison's success too. He didn't just want to be the most successful. He wanted to kill everybody else.
Yes.
like just dominate, beat them all. By the way, F1 is apparently, according to Puck, about to sell rights to Liberty is about to sell rights to Formula One to Apple. ESPN's been running those Formula One races for the last few years.
Is that the right demographic? Is Apple Apple users?
Apple's got a lot of money. The Puck says they're going to pay $114 million, which is almost twice what ESPN is paying for the rights. But this has been going on for a while. They expect to announce it October 19th at the Formula One race in Austin. Ooh. The sticking point is that Apple wanted Formula One to stop its streaming service, F1 TV, which I subscribe to, and almost all serious fans subscribe to, because it lets you watch Formula One on they have an app for the Apple TV and the Roku, but you can also watch it on your devices, on your phones and stuff. And it's amazing because you not only see the race and you can listen to the Sky TV broadcasters or Formula One's TV broadcasters, but you also have every driver's camera and you have every driver's radio. And you can even watch it all at once if you want on your computer, which is mind-blowing. It is an information junkie's dream. So I hope Apple, they apparently wanted Formula One to kill that. Formula One says, we make a lot of money on that, and I don't know what the result is. We'll see. We were talking about it today or yesterday on MacBreak Weekly, and the MacBreak Weekly folks, Jason Snell especially, thought, I bet Apple wins on this. I bet they do have to shut down the streaming thing, and let's hope Apple does the same quality of streaming.
This kind of reeks
doing all right.
This kind of reeks of an executive in Apple just being a huge F1 fan and just wanting it.
Oh yeah. In fact, if you saw the last Apple event, because they were promoting the F1 movie, remember with Brad Pitt? I think it was Eddie Q. No, it wasn't Eddie Q. It was the hair. Who's the guy with the hair? Is that John Federighi? Drove up in a Formula One car.
That's pretty nice.
Well, I think it was AI.
See, you don't know anything anymore.
You can't.
Yeah.
Can't trust anything.
Let me see here. How Apple created a custom. No. Apple, I don't know. Yeah. They were at the time promoting the movie, but I think maybe Apple had greater aspirations. Let's take a little break. More to come. I think a little break. More to come. In just a moment, you're watching Intelligent Machines with Jeff Jarvis and the wonderful Paris Martineau. Our show today brought to you, and our website, I might add, brought to you by Pantheon. I know Patrick Delahanty, our web engineer, is listening. He loves Pantheon. It was kind of amazing. Pantheon approached us and said, hey, you think you could do an ad for us? I said, yeah, I think we could do an ad. We use you. You run our entire workflow. Our website is built on Pantheon, but not just Pantheon, but not just our website. When the editors publish a show, it's running through a Drupal instance running on Pantheon. Your website is, and is true for us too, your number one revenue channel, right? But if it's slow, if it's down, users don't wait. If you don't pop up in an instant, they're going to go somewhere else. So when your website's stuck in a bottleneck, it's also your number one liability. Pantheon keeps your site fast and secure and always on. That means better SEO, more conversions, no lost sales from downtime. It's not just a business win. Ask Patrick. It's a developer win too. Your team gets automated workflows, isolated test environments. That saved my bacon when I pushed a flawed update, shall we say, but I pushed it to test, not production. Thank goodness it was isolated, so there was no downtime. Thank you, Pantheon. No late night fire drills. No, works on my machine headaches, just pure innovation. And everybody in the team loves it. Marketing can launch a landing page without waiting for a release cycle. Developers can push features with total confidence, even if Leo's pushing them. And your customers, they just see a site that works 24/7. Pantheon powers Drupal and WordPress sites. We use Drupal, but they also do WordPress that reach over 1 billion unique monthly visitors. Wow. Visit pantheon.io and make your website your unfair advantage. We love Pantheon. Pantheon, where the web just works. And it works for us. I have to say, we love it. Patrick posted a picture of a cheering tiger to celebrate. They're great, he says. There you go. That's an endorsement from Patrick Delahanty and Tony the Tiger. What else? Is there anything else we want to talk about before we wrap things up? It's getting a little late. The sun's gone over the yard arm, as my
here it's way over. Yeah,
my grandpa used to say, but that was the excuse for him to pour a gin and tonic. I don't know.
So, as my father used to say, somewhere in the world it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's another one.
Wait. So you have. My father would say, my kids want to know whether this was just pop-up or there was other pop-ups. Did he call gasoline juiceline?
No.
Juiceline? Is he drinking the gasoline?
I think that's unique.
My father called
I think that's one of a kind. I think that's your father.
How about milk as moo juice?
Moo juice, I've heard, yes.
You've heard that
No.
one?
Yes.
Paris thinks that's strange.
You
don't really want to focus on the source of either milk or eggs, or bacon for that matter.
True.
Elon Musk is preparing for the release of Optimus.
Oh, Jesus.
The robot. The Tesla annual meeting is next month, and one of the centerpieces, at least one of the things Elon hopes to do to impress shareholders, will be a dancing troupe of Optimus robots. Elon says he believes that the robots will make more for Tesla than the cars do. However, as the information reports, the 08 reports in the information, there's been some technical difficulties. They'd hoped to make thousands of Optimus robots this year. Those plans were abandoned by summer, according to two people with direct knowledge of the Optimus program. It's hard, right? These are two-legged machines. He has shared pictures of them walking around and building structures on Mars. This is his plan to get them there by 2027. When is that? Well, that's just 2 years off. And he wants Optimus to be on board that SpaceX Mars trip. Unfortunately, the current version
for the
of
worker
Optimus
that has to wear that costume.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The current version of Optimus has been designed for indoor use on Earth, which means probably not going to work on Mars unless it wears a spacesuit or has a redesigned thermal management system fit for a dusty planet where the average temperature is 80 degrees below zero. Well, we'll see. I hope he has a dancing troupe. Elon acknowledged last month on the All In podcast that, quote, Tesla's struggling with the final design of the hardware, and that, quote, the hands, inclusive of the forearm, are a majority of the engineering difficulty of the entire robot. We got the torso down, man, but the arms, not so easy.
It's otherwise known as a food delivery robot.
Yeah. Yeah, don't they use those at the
hard.
Don't they use those at the Tesla supercharger in LA at the fast food place?
And
in fact, there were
use
videos
that to make middling
popcorn, right?
Food.
Yeah. and somebody getting it frozen, and then somebody had to come in and hit the reset switch. Let me see if I can find that video.
There was a time in San Francisco downtown where all these like pop-up robot like coffee makers and all that stuff like started popping up. Like a robot would make your coffee, or a robot would make your burger.
Oh yeah, they're on cruise ships too.
Yeah, there's always a couple of those gimmick things going around.
Here's the Optimus.
Optimus is frozen.
It's frozen. So the Tesla engineer on the phone, he's coming in. He's going to
on the phone with support.
This is a remix of the Wii Me Channel theme.
Okay, I shouldn't play the music. That's probably what's going on in the background. There he is. He said, "Okay, you see that port on the left? You flip that switch."
Oh no, it didn't work. Is there a plug I can unplug?
You gotta. Does anybody have a paper clip? I gotta.
You're gonna poke the reset button. Oh! I see. It's moving. It's moving. You see, as Elon said, it's the hands, and really the hands and the forearms that are so tricky.
The intricate parts of it that are essential to its daily function.
I have made popcorn for you, human. It didn't fill the bag up, I might point out. That's just, I get a half a bag? Bye. And the guy's still on the phone.
They are pretty cool looking. We'll give them that.
I mean, hey, this is a big step forward from the guy in the suit that was dancing around. It's at least able to do something. What else? AMD. We talked about the AMD OpenAI deal, right? No,
we didn't.
No, that was Windows Weekly. Another one of these big round trip
circulars.
Deals,
yep.
Where both companies benefit, but nobody actually spends any money. And of course, AMD stock rockets higher on multi-billion-dollar OpenAI deal. AMD is going to provide 6 gigawatts of GPUs to the AI juggernaut over several generations. As part of the deal, OpenAI will take a stake in AMD worth 10% of the company. Wow. Okay, I guess in effect, that is OpenAI buying GPUs. Oh, no, wait a minute. They get
it's right. No.
It's all just circular.
Nobody pays anything. But everybody comes out a winner, and that's all I care about. And that's as long as my retirement...
Everybody's patting each other on the back, and that's cool.
I made a lot of money on the stock market today. I made a lot of money on the stock. Don't knock it. It's funny money, because
You'll never lose it.
Go back to the Bezos argument. Is that an industrial?
I don't know. Google has announced an AI vulnerability reward program, which, despite its name, does not mean they're rewarding you for creating AI vulnerabilities. They are.
How about for being a vulnerable human being?
They have released a new AI-powered agent called Code Mender, which improves your code's security automatically.
Finds the problem and fixes it.
Yes. You know, I think it's probable. What do you think, Darren? Can Code Mender fix code and make it more secure? Code Mender, Google says, is an AI-powered agent utilizing the advanced reasoning capabilities of our Gemini models to automatically fix critical code vulnerabilities. Sometimes AI fixes them by changing the bit from failure to success, but sometimes it does more. We'll see. Root cause analysis. They're using fuzzing and theorem provers to identify the fundamental cause of a vulnerability. This is important, not just as surface symptoms. Self-validated patching. It's worth a try, right? It's worth a try.
Let's see. Well, while you're on, so Google did a couple other things that are.
Yes, we should go back to our roots. Let's talk about some Google.
So they introduced Gemini 2.5 computer use model, and they introduced they wrote about embedding Gemma, which are both interesting.
Who's Gemma?
Gemma is their open source.
Model. Oh, it's the small model.
It's for the phones,
small
right?
Open source.
So this is one you can embed on a device. So it's a small model. So that's good. And also the 2.5 computer use is kind of agentic in that it can mimic your activities on a browser.
It can power agents that can interact with user interfaces. Oh, so it can push the buttons for you.
This is not unlike OpenAI's. I can go and deal with Canva for you. Google, this is I think NBC, and they can deal with.
It's really interesting to see all the parity. You know, how quickly this is happening. Where a company A will do something, then company B says, "I can do that." Then company A will do, "Well, I can do that, but can you do that?" And
can we stop it with the captures already? Because presumably this would be able to solve that already, right?
Yeah. Please, we've solved that.
As
so here's a
who
prompt.
I've said in this show many times, I have browsing habits that every website seems to think means I'm a computer.
Yes.
I'm doing 5 to 15 captures a day minimum. I'd love to not
because what habits you have.
Paris, look me in the eyes. Are you a werewolf?
I'll never tell.
Here's the prompt. Watch the video while I tell you what the prompt was for this. From a website, get all the details for any pet with a California residency. What? And add them as a guest in my spa CRM. Then set up a follow-up visit appointment with a specialist Anima Malavar for October 10th, anytime after 8 a.m. The reason for the visit is the same as their requested treatment. So that's a fairly complicated prompt. Basically, it's a customer So they're adding new clients from the website they're going to is their sign up. This is this new Gemini code use,
computer use model.
Yeah. So it's agentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The agents are here.
I have to say, this goes back to the conversation about OpenAI being an operating system. It does kind of make sense that the ways we interact with technology, the ways we search for websites, the ways we interact with websites might, in fact, there might be a new user interface that is more natural. I always thought that with the voice assistants. I thought that was going to be the next thing in user interface. It wasn't, because
People
it turned
don't
out
like talking.
Well, I think they just weren't very good either, right? Amazon's Echo and Siri.
No one knows what they're supposed to be used for.
Right.
I mean, even the other day, Riza is like, I've got a Amazon Echo or whatever. And she's like, I don't know what to use it for other than timers. And she runs an AI company that's powered by voice.
Well, this morning, my Amazon Echo Show decided to go agentic. Alexa,
You're not allowed to say that.
Tell me what you can do. Tell me what you can do, Alexa.
Ooh, you're curious about what I can do. I can show you what's new or what's most popular. Which one sounds fun to you?
What's most popular?
Awesome. Let me share what's super popular with everyone. I can create music playlists, set alarms with music, and give weather updates. Which one sounds most interesting to you?
I'd like to know if we're going to see any rain in our area in the next 10 days, because my house is, well, lacking the south wall, shall we say.
There's a significant chance of rain next week. On October 13th, there's an 84% chance of rain during the day, with up to 0.34 inches expected.
Oh, that's not
The following day has a
That's not
70%
significant.
chance of rain with potentially 0.74 inches.
Almost an inch. Is that considered heavy rain? Will it be windy? Oh, it says almost an inch of rain could be problematic for your wall.
Expect winds up to 10 miles per hour from the west-southwest. The next day, winds will be lighter, around 7 miles per hour from the south-southwest.
What should I do to protect my house? It doesn't have a south wall.
Thinking.
You're
screwed.
Focus on strengthening your roof, windows, and doors with stormproof materials. Ensure you have impact-rated windows, reinforced doors, and a well-sealed
Not quite there.
Also, clean and maintain your gutters to properly direct.
No, you don't understand. I don't have a wall on my house.
What do you expect me to do? I'm just a voice.
Situation earlier. For a house without walls, you'll need to focus on protecting the structure with temporary coverings and ensuring proper drainage around the foundation. Given the upcoming rain, it might be wise to consult with the local contractor about immediate protective measures.
Oh, believe me, I have, but he's on vacation again. Third vacation in.
I understand your frustration. Since your contractor is now
it's
let's focus on immediate
customer service voice.
Consider using heavy-duty tarps to cover exposed areas. Make sure any temporary barriers are securely anchored to withstand the upcoming rain.
I got to send this to my contractor. So I asked the AI.
I asked Google.
I found several contacts that might be your contractor. Would you like to?
Oh, don't say names. Don't say names. Stop, Alexa. Stop. Oh, stop. Oh, my God.
No.
We're all gonna talk.
None of those people.
Press the buzz button.
Your bump.
Use your sensor button.
Your dump button. You got a dump button.
Your
Use it.
Your bleep us, Leo. You could have bleeped it.
Fine.
Yeah, a little late, but.
Well, I mean, that's better than it used to be, I guess.
Now, I think Google is also switching now finally to Gemini instead of Assistant on the devices, too.
So if you asked me 5 years ago what's going to be the big breakthrough in user interface, I would say voice.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think we did say it on the show.
Yeah, but you're right, Paris. It turns out to be problems talking out loud of these things, and especially in an environment where there are other people. especially in the environment where there are other people who are tricksters, like my kids, who every time I would start talking to the AI would start blabbering other things. It was problematic. So, but I still believe that there is something there. I don't know.
So I have a quick question for our young person.
Yes.
The Wall Street Journal on line 127 is insisting that young people are falling in love with old technology. And Morning Joe just loved this story today. Do you have friends who are using flip phones, who are using CDs, who are using cameras?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, to literally all of those. One of my friend Rick, the 6'9" Rick, I'm recently quite mad at him because he's gotten his phone broke and he got a flip phone instead. And I'm like, Rick, we're in a bunch of group chats. You can't text us back if you have a flip phone. And he's like, yeah, but I just think it'd be better to be disconnected.
Oh, no.
You sound like every guy on Hinge.
What's the pool on? Phones have hinges as well, so.
What's the pool on him switching to a smartphone soon?
I brought to the bar the other day. I have 3 old iPhones, and I brought him my oldest iPhone, a 10-year-old one. I was like, Rick, you could use this.
At least it's old.
Yeah, I was like, it's
That's
10 years old. I was like, you can't update it to the latest iOS. Isn't that fun? It still has the fingerprint.
I don't understand
button.
what's wrong with him wanting to use flip phones.
There's nothing.
Is that a deal breaker?
No, there's nothing
cuts
wrong
off the
with it.
friendship.
As I said on Friday, because I'd been giving him a little bit too much on it, because I was like, Rick, I'm sorry I've been giving you crap on the flip phone. I respect your choice. I just treasure your friendship and enjoy texting you. And it's difficult to not be able to. I guess I can start calling you now, but it's annoying that you're no longer in any of our group chats, basically.
It's true, really. It cuts you off, doesn't it, nowadays, if you don't have.
Yes, so this is definitely a problem.
messaging.
A bunch of people have digital, old point-and-shoot digital cameras.
Aren't you glad you didn't do that? You're still using the Project Indigo?
I love Project Indigo. I use it all the time. I also, though, I use a DSLR Canon camera as my webcam, and I recently got because it's on like a little tripod thing behind my computer. I recently got a little magnetic mount, so I can easily remove it from it and then take it.
Smart.
To use it as a
So now
regular
you can
one.
use that too.
And
Good.
a friend of a friend was like filming a short film this weekend, and I was there as an extra. It's kind of a long day shoot, and this is too much information, but they were having some last minute emergencies to where someone at this party was like, Paris, maybe bring a backup camera in case our cameras fall through. I brought my camera. Their camera was fine. But then I was like, well, I guess I'll just take a bunch of photos behind the scenes. And now everybody had a great time and everybody loves my photos.
You have the behind the scenes photos.
Having a nice
Do not
normal camera is
upgrade
good.
your iPhone. Are you an iPhone user?
I'm not upgrading to the new iOS.
I was going to say,
I would
because
rather die. I know that Project
Indigo
work.
says, we apologize for the inconvenience, but Indigo is not supported on this
Well,
device.
they said that they didn't have access to the new iPhones until they came out, so they've only been able to start testing it now. I've talked about Project Indigo before. It was recommended to me by a listener. Shout out. I've said your name before. I don't have it on hand now, but thank you. You know who you are. And it's just great. It really uses all of the powers of your camera and takes raw and JPEG photos that then you can edit on your phone using Lightroom or whatever editing software you have, and they look phenomenal. So much better than what you'd take normally.
So it's Adobe?
They kind of, it's Adobe. They process it.
Ironic that Adobe didn't have access to Apple's latest iPhones.
Yeah.
There's something that tells you something there. Good. I will use
Project Indigo team is just a small kind of like Moonshot Labs group.
I'll use it to take pictures of all the water damage next week, so that'll be good.
The one thing you've got to do, though, remember with Project Indigo is like it processes the photos after you take it, like it kind of develops them in some way, like it runs it through its kind of own algorithm, and you have to keep your phone open on the app till they're done developing. It only takes like 15-30 seconds, but if you close the app beforehand, you lose.
It can't run in the background. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Hey, before we get to our picks of the week, which are just around the corner, you're watching Intelligent Machines with Jeff Jarvis and Paris Martineau. A little note from one of our good friends, a guy who's been on the show and we love a lot, Glenn Fleischman. I think this is from you, Jeff. You put this in, and I did not know this. He posted yesterday on LinkedIn that he's getting open heart surgery next month. And while his insurance does cover, of course, the surgery and all the testing and procedures, it's still expensive after the surgery.
He and his wife are freelancers.
They're both freelancers, and he's not going to be able to work at all for a few weeks. We'll get him on the show, and we'll pay him to be on the show. But he says, I would never ask for charity, but if you would like to buy one of my books for a birthday or holiday gift, that would be great. He's got 6 centuries of type and printing, great for typo files at 6cent, CENT.info. And he has autographed versions available. Or, of course, his latest, How Comics Are Made.
Which is a beautiful book.
Really nice interviews with Doonesbury's Gary Trudeau, Lynn Johnston, Bill Waterston. That would be well worth. I'm going to buy some copies as gifts because
I already have both books.
You said it was
me too.
6cent dot what?
Let me go back to the post.
It's about the history of print.
Yeah. He's on LinkedIn. This is from LinkedIn. It is 6cent.info. Info. Yeah.
Sounds like a great book. And
it is. It's lovely.
And Glenn's a wonderful guy. He says the prognosis is good. So I'm sorry about his health issues, but I'm glad that he's getting treatment. And he says the prognosis is excellent. And if anybody wants to support him by buying one of those 2 books, please do it.
Yeah. I also wish he'd go ahead and put up a GoFundMe, but.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
He doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to do that. I understand that. I really do. Love you, Glenn.
Yep, we do.
Feel better. Get better soon.
Yep. Thinking of you.
Yep. Let's take a break. More to come. Well, our picks of the week, in fact, as we continue with Intelligent Machines. We do this show, by the way, every Wednesday, right after Windows Weekly. That's 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. That is 2100 UTC. You can watch us on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, X.com, and Kick. Next week, Jeffrey Connell is going to join us from New Research, NOUS Research. They are doing AI models, human-centric AI models that are focused on aligning AI with real-world user experiences. It's a very interesting approach to AI, and one of their models, Psyche, is supposed to be emotionally intelligent. So Jeffrey will be our guest next week on Intelligent Machines. That should be very, very interesting. If you are a fan of the show and you want to support it, if you like what we do on our other shows, I would encourage you to join the club. We'd really appreciate that. 25% of our operating expenses come from your membership. And I expect as time goes by, that's going to be more and more. It lets us do some of the fun things we do in the club. You get access to the Discord. You get ad-free versions of the shows because you're giving us $10. We don't need to show you ads. But most importantly, it supports what we do. It's a vote, and we really appreciate your support. twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks to all of our existing members. We really, really appreciate it. Now, let's get the pick of the week from Miss Paris Martineau.
My pick this week is a podcast called The Necessary Conversation. It's by Chad Kultgen, who's a podcaster, his sister, Haley Pop, and their parents, Mary Lou and Bob Kultgen. It's got kind of an interesting premise, which is it started in 2022 because Chad and Haley are various degrees of kind of left-leaning politically, and their parents are kind of full-on Kool-Aid drinking MAGA.
What are the names again? The parents' names again?
Mary Lou and Bob.
Mary Lou and Bob. Perfect.
Yeah. No. And so every week they meet, and this is honestly, they meet and they talk about politics.
I don't know if I could take that. Is it stressful?
It is stressful, but in some ways it's kind of
a relief,
therapeutic, and a relief, and
because they still love each other at the end of the show, really, right? Or do they walk out and go?
I mean, I think they love each other as much as they began at the end of the show, but it depends. It's just it's a very interesting dynamic, and they're all very earnest and engaged, or at least earnest and forthcoming about their beliefs, despite wild disagreements. And I don't know, just a very interesting premise for a show.
That's brave to do it and brave to listen.
It is, yeah.
I don't know if I could take it.
No, I'm not sure.
I mean,
it's a little close to home.
it is a little close to home. And I mean, if you don't know if you can take it, check out their account on TikTok or Instagram. They post little clips of,
Okay.
It's often Chad asking their parents basic questions and then trying to figure out what the heck they just answered, and sometimes vice versa. But I don't know. I find it a very interesting premise, and it's interesting given the candor that all of the members kind of take to it. So I'd really recommend it. I really like Chad's other podcast, Game of Roses, which I think I've talked about before on the show, which kind of explores reality TV through the lens of professional sports. But that's how I got into this.
The Necessary Conversation. It's on YouTube at The Necessary Conversation. Family therapy through politics. Wow. I don't know if I could take it.
It's a lot. And I guess while we're talking about podcasts, I'll shout out some listener reviews of our podcast.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Please do.
If you want to have your podcast review shouted out, you can leave a review on Apple Podcasts of this show. You can leave it if you love the podcast or hate it, but it would be great for us if you left 5 stars. Could balance it up. I'll give you 2 examples here of a lover and a hater. Lover, My Reviews Tech wrote, "We love Paris!" Exclamation point. A show
is there guaranteed to get that read on the air, huh? Yeah.
A show that boldly goes where no bot has gone before, serving a delightful cocktail of AI, antics, and wit. I only wish there was a more masterfully catchy theme songs that eat through the ear like an earworm, reminiscent of the Baby Shark phenomenon. And then, as a counterpoint, I guess I should have done this first so we ended on a positive note. Mountaineer says, 2 of the hosts are just AI cynics. I'm all for skepticism, but 2 of the hosts just knee-jerk hate everything. Paris is by far the worst offender.
Oh.
And it goes on.
Another
one, Bionic.
Wait a minute. Who's the other hater? I think
I guess it's Jeff.
Must be
I don't
Jeff.
think he is a hater.
No, you're.
I was going to say, as the
I'm
man
the
who
other one, I
hosts
guess.
2 AI podcasts, I would say he's the man who devotes the most thought to AI every week. And then we get another incredible show from the Twit Network, writes Bionic Geek. I've been listening to this show for years, including in its previous format. It's informative, has great analysis on current topics covering AI, and many different ways and aspects that tech impacts our lives today. It's also very entertaining. Fantastic show. Rate and review our podcast, folks.
Thank you. And here is Dustin's image art for this week's show, This Week in Hipsters.
Oh, I do
like
have that jacket, actually.
Oh, do you? I want to get a denim jacket. I haven't had one in a long time.
Oh my God, are we due for hipsters to come back? I think that's about to swing back around, isn't it?
Hipsters are back again?
I like that, yeah.
Should I grow a beard? I don't know. That looks pretty good. I think that's a good look. Maybe I should grow a beard.
In my other closet. I do have that exact jacket, but it was my grandfather's.
Oh. Does it have a little happy face button on it?
No, but the back has a
Harley Davidson
American flag, which is why it's in probably a different closet right now. It's a little weird.
Oh, you can wear the flag. We have to take the flag back.
Just,
it's ours.
The beard would look good. Can you grow a beard, Leo?
Of course I can grow a beard. I can grow that beard.
Are you questioning his
I don't know. It always seems so. I'm not questioning your manliness. It just seems you seem so smooth-faced.
I was always taught that, for some reason I wear contacts, that you want to have as much of your face available for expressiveness. And
with this nose, I want to hide it. I want to distract from it.
Well, I'm getting to the point where I kind of want to hide my turkey jowl neck.
All
so
right.
yeah, there's the beautiful
I'll be
Paris
blind.
Martineau. See, poor Paris. Her sister was the model, so she had to be the smart one.
It's true.
And I think it's unfair.
I came first, so I just capitalized in the
Did you choose to be the smart one and she chose to be the pretty one? Or because that happens in families, doesn't it?
I don't think I ever really thought about it until one time. I think I've mentioned this anecdote in the show before. I was maybe like 8 or 9 or 13. I was some level of adolescence, and my parents were up late talking to a friend in like the main living room area. And I was sitting around the hall, like listening to them. Gizmo keeps putting her little tail in front of the camera because I'm on mic. I was listening to them, and I heard them saying, "Oh, well, Melise, my sister, is like so extroverted. That's all right. Paris is introverted, but she's just a little nerdy." And I'd literally never before in my life thought of myself as introverted or nerdy. And I was like, I was like, I do sports. How am I introverted or nerdy? But
isn't that funny how that the dynamics of families are so weird.
Yeah.
So weird. So unhealthy. It's too bad we need them. Jeff Jarvis, pick of the week.
Okay, so about 3 weeks ago, I started seeing in my TikTok, my German TikTok, a major trend, which I think is coming to America. The Washington Post has written about it, and I think it could probably hit Paris's friends and neighborhood.
Pudding
if you go to
mit
line 162, pudding mit Gabel.
What
Eating
is
pudding with a fork.
No, 9. One does not eat pudding with a
Skip the
fork.
Washington Post and go to...
You have another link?
Yeah, hold on. No, I got the wrong link in there.
Wait, is the pudding the same? It's just
I'm
the
disturbed
utensil
by
that
this.
changes.
It's the utensil.
Video auf English, that one?
No, I want to put a different one in there. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to put it in now. I thought I'd erased it. Erase. Boom. Done. Okay.
How can you
English.
call eating pudding with a fork a trend? It doesn't seem...
Watch
Well, look at
the
all
Alf
the people
English.
that are there eating pudding with a fork.
They bring the pudding, they tap the pudding top with the forks, and then they eat it. Nobody can figure it out. So go to
Couldn't you
162
tap it
now.
with a spoon?
No, it has to be a fork, a gobble.
A gobble, ein Gabel.
Ein Gabel.
Okay.
So line 162.
All right.
Jeff,
we are now
you
going to
have the
watch.
strangest TikTok videos.
Yeah, she does. He does. Wait a minute.
The events are BYOP and BYOF.
Oh,
and
it's
even
making
on
me-
a Sunday when German stores and supermarkets are closed, everyone comes prepared.
All right, here we go.
At the appointed
The
time.
English-speaking world is aware of, and I need to make you aware of it. It is called pudding mit Gabel, which means pudding with fork. And people are meeting up in Germany and Austria right now in the hundreds in various cities to eat pudding together with a
What?
I have done a deep dive on this. I have watched tons of videos on it. You can look it up right now, pudding mit Gabel, and I cannot find the source. I cannot find the pudding mit Gabel source. But
That
when
looks
I tell
like
you
yogurt.
The videos coming out of Vienna from yesterday at this meetup in Vienna. There might have been 1,000 people in that park, each with their own pudding, each with their own Gabel. They're tapping the lid rhythmically to get ready to eat the pudding mit Gabel together. There's all ages. There's kids. There's omas. Everyone is doing this. It's stuff like this that makes me laugh when people say that Germans aren't funny. I know Vienna isn't in Germany, but bear with me. The German-speaking world. Because this to me is peak German humor. There's no deeper meaning to it. It is pure absurdism. And yet it is so
I
funny
follow
and it brings
her.
people
She's
together.
a
And this exemplifies how Germans
Fluent
are.
German-speaking student in Germany, American, obviously.
That's awesome.
The
If you
Washington
go to the
Post
next line.
says the first pudding mit Gabel took place in the southwestern German city of Karlsruhe, best known as the site of the country's Supreme Court in late August. Apparently, young people around Germany thought it was a tremendous idea.
Das ist meine Gabel und ich grüße meine Deutschlehrerin, die es leider heute nicht geschafft hat.
Gibt es einen tieferen Sinn?
Es verbindet Menschen auf einer ganz tieferen Ebene.
Damit die keine Freunde haben, Freunde finden.
So,
Die Connection zwischen allen
so I can find friends.
yeah, friend finding. So tapping with a fork is also meaningless. It's just part of the ritual.
Part of the ritual, yes.
Und viele Leute schon angesprochen, dass sie
It's going to be
Very
coming to
weird.
Prospect Park before you know it.
gepostet, zusammen
So just be aware when you start seeing people with their gobbles.
Paris, you
I'm
can
gonna
start
need-
it. You can
well,
start
the
it.
issue is I'm not a pudding fan because it's too soft as a...
Would you like
I'd
hard
need-
pudding? Would you enjoy hard
I'd
pudding
want,
better?
I'd want a couple of layers of like a crunchy Oreo something mixed.
I think you sneak that in
You
there.
could put crunch in a pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah, yogurt.
I
Yogurt
would
with
have to
crunch
get
would be
my
fine.
own pudding.
It's too soft. Do you like
That's weird, Paris.
chocolate mousse? Is that too soft?
No, too soft. The only thing that has broken my soft aversion is grits, which I think are a perfect
Grits are good.
food.
Yeah.
Flan, maybe?
Oatmeal.
Flan?
So you'll eat oatmeal. Flan is pudding.
No,
Flan is
I don't
custard.
really like it. I only like creme brulee.
Creme
I eat
brulee
the
'cause it's
top.
got a crispy
I was gonna say,
top.
but I only
Yeah.
eat the crispy top, and then I kind of leave the core of the creme
It's
brulee.
just the sugar.
I know, but it's just too soft. There's not enough going on there texturally.
Wow.
Listen, it's my
Fascinating.
one weird food thing.
Fascinating. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note,
On that thrilling
get
note,
your gobbles and go out and have some pudding because we are done. This is all over. Everybody go home. That is Jeff Jarvis, Professor Emeritus of Journalistic Innovation at Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York, now Montclair State University, and SUNY Stony Brook. He is the author of the Goodyberg parenthesis.
Goodyberg parenthesis.
Goodybird.
The Goodyberg parenthesis, and of the magazine, and the Web Vivive. Thank you, Jeff. Good to see you. Paris Martineau, of course, investigative reporter at Consumer Reports, paris.nyc. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. A special thanks to our Club Twit members. We will be back next week. And again, we're going to talk about emotionally intelligent AI.